So I shouldn't just leave my hand there, right?
That would be the best.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 12 of Dicecream Sandwich. I am your Dungeon Master, Jody Rose.
What's up, bro, amigos?
Yeah, you are.
Today we are shooting from a new location, which is why all of us look very washed out, very
Ooh,
and fancy.
Who knows? Because we're gonna go to the fucking fairgrounds and we got a misty look to us.
We're gonna get heckin' spooky.
Do I look smoky? That's why
We're recording in
I'm
Jordy's house. His
You
address.
can
share us into your live stream and you can share it with our followers. I've just requested, apparently.
But we are deciding on our new setup. We have set everything up correctly. Everything is going to work. And we are starting off on our newest setup.
I don't know how this
So,
happens.
to recap,
Right now,
what
it's unable to
happened
join.
last week for everyone.
Yeah, shit, I need to pay
We
attention.
had the intrepid band of adventurers in the city of Vallaki, making their way through and having a very interesting interaction with the Burgomaster's mansion. Because the Burgomaster.
Oh my god, that was so good.
It's fantastic.
No, Douglas, picture in picture. Alright, anyway.
Okay, I'll go. But
Yeah.
this was fun. Very briefly. Hello, everyone.
Echo!
Leave.
Alright.
My mind is
Fuck
being
Brian,
blown.
so
Yeah.
So confused. Glitch.
I feel like a dog that just passed through one of those like invisible electric fences. Like, ah! What's
It's okay,
happening?
we're back here, we're back
We're
here.
back here.
Please.
So,
Sorry.
last week we started off with the group having previously been to the Church of St. Andrew, deciding that it would be in their interest to find some kind of an offering, a gift, to the upcoming Festival of the Blazing Sun being held by the Burgomaster in the town of Vallaki. They decided to venture forth to the prayer grounds to Palor, just outside the city, give or take an hour and a half to 2 hours travel time, but having themselves essentially locked inside the city at the Burgomaster's approval for the guards to prevent them from leaving, they weren't entirely sure on how to do that. So, beseeching Ismark and Irina in the mansion of the Burgomaster, you asked Ismark to reach out on your behalf, find a way to have the Burgomaster allow you to leave the town, and in doing so, also had your first visit with Irina in a day and a half, and a nice interaction was seen where you could see that she was actually settling into her new accommodations quite nicely. After a dinner with Ismark, you made your way out, back to the Blue Water Inn, and from there ended up going up to your rooms, where you found that the, what's his name? The Rictavio, the one non-human that you had seen so far, the half-elven man, essentially pieced. He just left. Grabbed all of his things, paid his bill, packed up his cart, and took off outside of Vallaki with you unable to find him.
So fucking cool.
We swiped right on Rictavio and then he ghosted us.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking.
You know whose fault is this?
Yeah.
Fish.
Typical Vancouver relationship.
I know.
Oh!
Woo!
Had that hometown like hard.
That hometown feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
So, after that, you eventually ended up making your way upstairs. Everybody was starting to turn in for the evening. A lovely back and forth session between Hope and Leaf as they braided Leaf's hair. But had an interesting time, and as the doctor was delivered a chest containing 300 gold pieces.
I don't know what chest you're talking about.
And as well as a note inside the chest that the Burgomaster had agreed to provide 2 guards that would then escort you the following day outside of the city walls. They were to be returned alive, or you would be permanently banished and sought after by the
Don't let
rest
them
of the
guards
town
judge.
guards.
Keep running.
Elith, in infinite wisdom, decided to engage the 2 trappers, the 2 hunters, Yevgeny and Zoldar, to also go with you outside of the wall and make your trip hopefully a little bit easier for a tidy sum of 20 gold pieces. They have been paid 5 gold up front, and the rest of it will be paid in the morning when you decide to leave. So, is there anything anyone would like to do to start the morning off, or?
So we have 2 guards and 2 trackers with us?
Correct.
So we have 4 helpers right now?
The guards are there to make sure that you don't do anything besmirching the name of Vallaki.
Yeah, they're basically not going to be helping us if we're getting into a fight because we don't want
Yeah,
them
we
to
don't
start.
want them to help us because they suck.
With shitty NPC logic. They just,
Yeah.
Are they just like butlers? They're just like overpriced butlers? They're
I
like,
need
maybe we'll help you, maybe we'll
I
help
need
think
to
don't
roll
know.
a
We don't know.
D6.
A
Oh!
Really?
I'm gonna give
to
you
recharge my magic wand.
I'm gonna give you a D6.
D6?
I could
Oh,
not
God.
have put that better.
You're recharging. You're rolling some dice to recharge your magic wand. How much are you gonna recharge it, Emma?
I'm gonna be downstairs in the main area with the chest. Yeah.
I'm just trying,
Yeah, no, you know.
I'm just trying
You know
over,
what I've
don't
done.
worry
Oh,
about it.
yeah.
We are so ridiculous. I love it.
It's fully charged again.
Nice.
FYI.
Alrighty. So,
There's 7 releases.
seven snowballs.
Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew.
Anyways, so making your way downstairs, you are there at the crack of dawn. It is a bit of a shorter night's rest for most of you than you would like. At least very much normal in your time. But the rest of you making your way groggily downstairs. Coffee is being served. Very basic breakfast rations are being offered. No full meals at the moment. But Zoldar and Yevgeny are down there waiting for you. And there you don't currently see the guards inside.
So right now we're just all kind of just
I'm
waiting.
already at a table.
Yep. You come down and you do see that the doctor's already taken a table and has a chest on the table in front of him.
Leaf and I kind
Oh,
of come down.
Yeah, I've got braided hair. And I guess what we didn't play through is hope you've got a little kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say like a daisy chain, but I was working on, some cool things hanging from the horns. So yeah, we're looking fresh.
Yeah, it's kind of made out of like moss
Yeah.
rather than daisies, but
Moss
yeah.
chain, We're glowed up. On the
Yeah,
floors,
we're
ready to
just
roll.
kind of like going down the stairs, kind of arm in arm, very awkwardly arm in arm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna motion you guys
How's it
over
going?
to my little table. My little
Yeah.
setting table.
Hi, good morning, Doctor.
Morning, friends. We were delivered a chest last night. A chest containing our payment from Ismark.
Interesting.
So what's in it?
300 gold.
That's
I believe that's more than we were expecting.
yeah, that's
That's a lot.
more.
We got a little bonus, I guess, for bringing him here alive.
Yeah, I mean,
I hoped he would have expected that, but
That's
I
pretty
suppose he
nice,
may not have
yeah.
been too optimistic about it.
Should we tell him he's overpaid us?
Nope.
No.
no. Do
Alignment.
I'll be
Did we not see you guys come in with the chest?
No.
No, you were in the bathtub. You're probably
Oh.
still in the bathtub.
No, I am still in the bathtub. But I thought when they left the house, we all they came out to us. At the end of the
No.
house.
This was
This was at night, and Danica brought it up to me with the note.
Yeah, because
this is
the
like
doctor.
quick time
Just
event, like
doctor.
whether you choose
Yeah.
like the green option and you get a plus on your alignment, or the red option you get a bad on your alignment.
Doctor,
Mm.
was there a note? Are we sure this is from Ishmael?
There was a note inside saying we had 2 guards accompanying us to the prayer grounds as well.
Okay.
So, probably yes.
Okay.
Did it say what time the guards were going to come here?
Did it?
It did say that the guards would be there just after dawn.
The guards will be here
Okay.
just after dawn.
I feel like they're likely waiting outside for us.
Very well,
Should
then.
we go and speak with the hunters, guides,
Are Yevgeny and Zoldar already here?
They're there.
Yeah.
to secure our day with
I'm gonna
them?
talk to them.
Where's...
Now I come
Yeah,
downstairs.
I was like, where's Les?
And I'm sopping wet. I did not drive at all.
Are you still sort of talking up to Kay?
Like my feet come down, feel like
Yeah.
flippers. Like
Are you like half to Kay?
oh no.
Too aggressive.
Okay.
You like half to. Yeah, hey friends, it's time to go into prayer ground.
Not yet. If you had come in right when I got out from the water, you would have heard the Decai voice, but not yet. Still unbeknownst to you.
Who's invading my bath chamber?
So I come down and be like, whoa, that's a lot of cash.
Hey buddy, you want a towel or something? You're a little wet.
Why?
Oh, fair point.
Where did all this money come from?
Ismark and Irina, dear boy.
They've overpaid us. Do you think we should tell
Nope.
them about that?
No, Hope.
No.
Hope, let's look
Really
at.
thought the payment
We'll
was
find a
like
very
it
good
was
use
The
for
way
it.
that we've all
our quest for justice.
the way that we've all been treated, I'd like to think it's kind of a tax for all of our waiting around and get all the stairs and everything. If they want to pay us that money, that's their volition.
So do we want to
I
toss it
think it
in
was
group loot, or
intentional.
do we want to split it up?
Well, we could put it into group loot and then split it, or we could just leave it in the group loot for group expenses, whatever works.
I also remember that with the 100, the 150, the 100 was the 100 gold that we found that was paid to the kid that we then gave back to him.
Oh, that's right.
so I don't think we actually have that
I
hunt.
think you're right.
So let's put it in group loot, I think.
Yeah, I
I'd
think
say
so.
they underpaid us, if you ask me. Look around this handsome table of adventurers.
Thank you. You're
We
very
know how to
kind.
get things done.
Thank you. Do you, does anyone else who has hair want braids at some point? Leaf, please model for us.
I kind of do like a little turnaround.
Perhaps we can get you very drunk. Make that
One
happen.
day.
So what's on
Elif,
it?
the trappers. Are
I-
we bringing them, do you think?
I would say that's the best idea we can.
Then bring them we shall.
Trappers.
I don't want their.
Zoldar and Yevgeny, the hunters we've encountered,
We
they've
told
offered
them-
to guide us.
We told you about them last night.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? Because I.
No, we did.
No, we went into the bathtub, remember? And we.
Oh, right.
It was a fun scene. I remember it fondly.
I thought you just came up and said, "Hey, are you okay?" I said, "Yes."
No, we
Alright.
checked in on you, but we told you that we're gonna be.
Oh, okay. Good.
I think it's a fair assumption that we should employ them for the day.
Yeah.
Let's hire them and get out of
Judy,
here.
what's Elif's impression so far of the hunters? Like, do they seem, even though they're kind of rough around the edges, are they on the level, or do they seem kind of...
They're definitively hunters.
Yeah.
Everything that they're wearing, all the pieces that are inside, they are what they claim to be.
Okay.
Like a
I don't
bit
get the
of
sense that they
5
would like just
o'clock
take our money and then leave us in the forest.
Slow down.
I'll get you to make an insight check.
Nice tight-fitting leather jackets.
Yeah. My shoulders really get sore after a long day of hunting.
Oh,
I
I
feel
just
like that's Matrix sounding.
gotta get Zoldar to rub me down.
9.
9.
Yeah.
Tough to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're probably not opposed to doing that.
Yeah. If
For
they thought
you
they could.
personally, you're not sure.
Okay. I think we should engage them, but I won't say don't watch your back.
Very well.
Yeah, I don't know them yet, and I find it hard to trust new people sometimes. So I think
I'll keep my eyes open upon them. I like their style, but I don't think that they wouldn't.
I'm pretty sure we could murder them if we wanted to.
They're men who take,
Just leave it.
are open to looking for advantages. I'm sure.
they've hunted dire wolves and the like. So
That's correct.
They haven't killed a dire wolf.
That's true.
I'd like to meet these hunters if I could.
Uh-oh.
I'll bring them over. Wait here for a moment, and then I'll go over to the table where Zoldar and Yevgeny are.
this coffee tastes unusual.
It's Irish.
Irish coffee. Gentlemen, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
We would like you to join us this morning in our expedition out to the Paragrams.
This is good.
And I'll hand them the remaining 15 gold.
Yevgeny! And he just smashes Yevgeny.
These are your hunters.
Wow, wow, wee, wow.
They look like they're barely
He
alive.
just pulls an
Less-
arrow outside
less
and just
knows
kind of
all
like
the time.
starts picking a little piece of gristle out of his teeth with the tip of an arrow.
Where did you found them in the bar, in the tavern, you said?
In the bar. They know their way around the outside area. It'd be worth it just to have guides through the forest.
They also
I mean,
introduced
I'm
us.
I'm all for guides and everything, but look at them.
Oh,
What are they doing?
You guys like scratching.
We're happy to have you along. Let's go. Let's leave.
We'll fit in pretty well.
All right.
Shall we,
Has anyone checked for the guards outside?
I mean, we're going outside.
shall we just...
Let's pop outside. Yeah.
We can't leave until the guards arrive. They're meant to be our...
Escort.
I feel like
help.
they'll be waiting outside for us.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go.
Peek our
Outside. Make
noggins
our
outside.
preparations.
Scooby-Doo style, like we all stack up.
Dum, 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 dum.
Right before they leave, I go, "Nice to meet you," and then walk away.
Huh. Very good.
You know, we're
Begin to
always
follow you
doing
outside,
it.
kind of lazily picking up their bows, and one of them has actually got a large pole arm. Yevgeny is carrying that. It's essentially a very large, almost flanged mace on the end of a
Oh,
10-foot
cool.
long.
Flange mace.
Yeah,
That could
on
be
the end of a
handy.
10-foot long pole.
Flanging.
So,
Flange!
making your way to the door, stepping outside, you look left and you look right, and you see that there is a guard station on either side of the door.
Hey guys.
Gentlemen,
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What can we do for you? Oh, wait, are you the ones that were supposed to
That is
show
correct.
outside this? Yeah, okay. We should have figured that one.
probably
All right.
yes.
Come on, let's get out of here.
What are your names?
I'm Schmidt.
Schmidt?
Yeah, Schmidt.
And I'm about.
And this is Aaron.
My name is Hope. I will try and protect you outside these walls.
I hope we don't need to protect them. We just don't want them to fight with us.
We don't want to tell them we don't want to protect
Well, believe me, we're not going to be the ones fighting. If you see anything, we're basically just observers.
Yeah, we just have been told to ensure we bring you back alive.
Well, there are
Schmidt
bats.
and
Aaron.
Aaron.
When you see the blood start spilling, try not to puke.
He's a nice guy. You'll get to know him.
We don't assume there'll be any battles.
Will
Don't
be.
you? I do.
I think there might be fighting.
If you're going outside the walls, there's probably going to be at least a little bit of fighting.
There's wolves in the woods.
I think the woods are a dangerous place.
There's a reason nobody from inside the town goes into the woods. So, have some fun, I hope.
Here we go.
Should be good.
It's fun time.
And then
Wah wah wee wah.
Yeah,
the
let's...
Proclaimers music starts playing. It's a road trip
Every
song.
time as well, I've actually heard like making my way downstairs.
My way downtown.
That's every time I hear like you said that, like whenever we're like going downstairs.
And I need
Or
you.
even as a Carlton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, we're not walking. We're all riding a piano out of
Alrighty.
Kaylee, I
So-
just want you to know.
Making your way through the city, coming to the northern exit from the village, you reach the gate with 2 guards stationed inside and another 2 on top of the stone wall with longbows at the ready. They stare down at you, look at the 2 men that are accompanying you and the 2 guards, kind of give a brief nod to the guards, and the guards just kind of make a gesture as the gate becomes unlocked. The gate itself opens outward from the inside the city, and you see the path exiting north from where you currently are.
Cool. We want the hunters in lead?
Oh, I and myself probably.
Very good.
I'll take up the tail end.
I'll be in the middle.
Yeah, I'll kind of chill in the middle if anyone.
Yeah,
What's our marching
I'll
order?
walk with you.
Okay. Sorry, marching order for this one?
Yeah.
So who's
The
in front?
hunters will lead, I think, and then me.
The hunters with
afterwards.
the leaf.
Hunters
Yeah.
lead? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be behind them.
Me and Leaf are gonna scan.
And Doctor.
Okay.
But I'm kind of hanging back a little behind.
And then who's in behind?
And then the guards. Then Aaron and then Schmidt.
Oh, they should be in front of me.
Yeah. If they get
No,
picked
they're-
off from behind you, then it's
Then-
bad.
Yeah.
That's our money.
I'll take up the rear.
Very good.
Rear.
Got it.
Rear.
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 Um,
I just couldn't pronounce it. I'm sorry. It just felt
Look,
weird.
it's hitting hard.
Take up the bottom.
As we would have been walking towards the gate, I would have made sure to say, Hope, I need you to make sure that you're more important to us than these guards. If something happens to them as a last resort, I don't care. But, like, you are more important to us as a group. So don't put yourself in danger to protect them.
I appreciate you, Allura. I shall carry my shield out in one hand and my sword in another, just in case.
Alrighty.
Oh.
So, stepping outside the walls, you begin making your way along the winding path north out of the village, followed by the 2 guards at the back, with Hope eventually bringing up the rear. Yevgeny and Zoldar leading the way. You travel for roughly an hour into the woods, with the light slowly beginning to really crest up until about midday. As you make your way deeper into the underbrush of the forest, now with light starting to fade behind all the trees. Branches being trampled underfoot, distant caws and cracks are heard echoing around, with the occasional howl breaking the early morning air. The guards are having some degree of difficulty keeping up, and you can tell that they're fairly trepidatious at the thought of venturing too far into the woods,
Nerds.
with their regular duties keeping them safely on the other side of the wall. However, the 2 hunters forge quickly on ahead, following some kind of path that escapes even the keenest of your eyes. They mutter to each other in quiet voices every once in a while, almost correcting their path as you notice absolutely no difference between the route they steer clear of and the one that they continue on.
As I'm walking behind, can I do small markings on the trees to kind of try and help us with this path?
Sure, what would you like to mark them with?
I would like to actually. Shit, my sword is probably a little bit too big to do a quick little.
I've got a dagger. I could do it.
Notch it.
I've also got short swords, so if you told Elise of your intentions, then she could
Mark the
do
way.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could also probably be the keenest eyes in the dark to see where.
That's
where we
probably
got
a real
from.
good point.
Yeah, because it's just in.
Just in case that our
Yeah.
hunter friends die
Or
Yeah.
from
they
some
leave us there.
horrible
Yes,
accident.
because they seem to know the way, so it would be wise of us to try and learn this way.
Agreed.
Alrighty. So, telling Alith to begin marking the trees, you in the middle of the pack begin to mark the trees off and kind of marking the path that you follow, and specifically marking the path that they do not follow as well, just making sure that you know which direction that you know to make your way back.
Excellent.
A few minutes of walking pass, and Alith, you notice that there are two massive wolves crouched low in the forest to the northeast that would have been right on your path had you not followed Yevgeny and Zoltar.
Mm-hmm.
So that path that they appeared to be steering clear of, all of you were looking for some kind of footfalls, anything to indicate that there was nothing there. They were looking for clearly different things. After another 30 to 40 minutes of travel, the forest slowly begins to lessen, and you begin to find yourself on the edge of a very large clearing with a series of dilapidated structures slowly being reclaimed by the earth. Stone buildings with crumbling walls and long ruined thatch roofs that lay open to the elements, with splintered wood doors rotting on the ground covered in moss and assorted speckled mushrooms. A long overgrown road winds its way into the prayer grounds, splitting off to the north and the east, with a few structures still standing above the grounds. In the middle of the area rises a steep hill upon which stands a stone tower with a partially collapsed roof and an adjoining steepled church. Large faded copper sunburst hangs askew in the front of the church, as a dirt path wends its way down from this ruin, hugging the base of the hill and meandering through the rest of the raised stone structures.
How many structures are there?
There are 5 currently standing buildings,
Okay.
and the rest of them are basically dilapidated to the point of just broken walls that you could step over quite easily.
And one of them is the church.
One of them is the church with the attached tower.
Is that the tower that Rictavio said they'd meet us in?
No, I doubt it.
Well, I mean, we can ask.
We could ask Yevgeny and the other guy.
Does this
I already asked them about the tower, didn't I? No.
No?
No, he just
No,
said meet us at the tower, but he never specified what tower.
Yes, he did.
Von
He said
Richten.
it's
Yeah.
Van Richten's tower?
Van Richten's tower.
Oh, okay.
This tower is Van Richten's
No,
tower?
no.
We were
Somebody
gonna-
said, is it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was curious.
Maybe we should check out these little
Yeah.
auxiliary buildings.
Yeah.
I agree. Anything that's standing, perhaps.
Take a quick peeky poo.
Can I make a quick perception check and just make sure there isn't any like spooky shit lurking in the shadows or kind of around anything that looks potentially dangerous?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and make a perception check.
What time of day is it right now?
It's quite early.
It's early. We
Right.
just it's sun up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been traveling for
An hour
just
passed.
under an hour, and
Yeah.
it was sun up. It takes you about 30 minutes to get to the edge of
Glory.
the edge of the city. So give or take, probably around 8 a.m., 9 a.m., somewhere in there.
Was there anything like I could have learned, like looking at the way that Zoldar and Yevgeny navigated the woods, watching their technique?
Isn't forest your favorite
It
terrain?
is, but like.
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more so for you. You may have been able to do this on your own, but there would have been checks involved. For them, it's just natural. They inherently know the things to look for, so they don't need to make any.
Are there any signs of like kind of gravestones, like markings of a graveyard at all in this area?
Where you've currently stepped in, not that you can see. You do see that in front of you, the path kind of meanders a little bit. If you can imagine, it goes directly north and then splits off, one path heading to the east and one path heading continuously north. There's one structure. I'm just going to pull up my map here so I can remember what I'm talking about.
Are we allowed to see the map yet?
Nope.
So sorry. So loud.
Strahd.
There we go.
Okay.
Nice
So,
channel.
yeah, so you see that the one path cuts over to the east, one path continues north. There are 2 structures, one that looks a little bit dilapidated but still mostly standing, and one that's fairly intact along the northern path. The only thing that you can see currently along the one that heads east is the larger stone piece, and then through the woods you catch glimpses of 2 other buildings much further to the east.
I'm gonna look at the hunters and be like, "Hey, hunters! Anything we should know about these parts? Regale us with your knowledge that we paid so much for."
Let's be respectful.
Oh boy.
No,
I can see you guys are already good.
this is not somewhere that we go very often. Beware the trees.
Okay, good.
We are making a perimeter. We will come back if you find anything interesting. And they begin to separate and make their way
Beware
around.
of trees.
Beware of the trees.
Beware of the trees.
It's a big clearing with the buildings in the clearing.
So it's not a clearing. There are lesser patches of trees and of bushes on either side of the path, and then the path continues north and kind of cuts off a little bit, and then there's one that goes directly east.
And
I'm doing it from your guys' perspective, so this is what you see.
The tower is north? Like
the tower's right about here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of want to check out these first two little buildings.
Yeah, I think we can
Take a little peeky poo.
I agree with Doctor. I think we should definitely stick as a group.
Oh boy,
and
yes.
just
Yeah.
kind of work through in a
Be mindful
logical
of
way.
the shadows. When I was here before you guys arrived, even during daytime, being in those dark areas can be very dangerous.
What's that dilapidated building all about?
Yeah, who's taking lead on this? Because I can help them.
I can scout it because I can see in the dark.
Oh, okay.
So the first one that you would run into would be the dilapidated one. The one further up the road heading north would be the more intact. You can actually see that there's a door that's still closed. It's partially broken, but it's still closed up against the edge of it.
I think maybe we should. I don't know if we need to go into every dilapidated building, so maybe we just go into the ones that are still kind of.
Yeah, the ones that don't require us to go through the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking. So yeah, sorry.
Although, if that door is still standing, then
There could be
the one
things
with the door
inside.
is less dilapidated, and we don't have to go through the trees for that one.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that we should head there first.
Yeah.
What about the dilapidated one? Does it have a door?
Dilapidated one is just open to the
Oh,
elements.
so we can just take a peek in there on our way to the door one.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, if we just pass
Step through.
by and
Take a little peeky poo.
yeah, just a lean in.
Alrighty.
Oh, a lean. That could be useful.
the classic allure lean. A lean with a perception check. So, making your way north, you eventually come to the split off of the road, one heading east, and you can see that the road that heads east turns into a little bit more of a now disused, but definitely more of a thoroughfare than the one that you see a little bit heading north. Along this, you see that there's a winding path that heads up to the building on top of the hill, this church with the attached tower, and then that the path continues on to the east. If you don't head towards the church, kind of cuts north a little bit, and you can see that there seems to be a fairly open area there with what some of you see, Elith, and actually just Elith, you would see that there's a fairly large well that's on the far side, at least several hundred feet down the path, and then up a little bit to the north.
I think I can see a well up there.
Well.
I can't see that well.
That's
Oh.
intriguing.
Did we pass by the dilapidated building?
So, passing by the dilapidated building, you see this.
Oh.
I had the pencil crayon.
You did.
Pencil crayons.
Good job, Jody.
It's super nice. It's super
Well, there we go.
So it does fold mostly flat. You can
Okay.
actually flatten it out a little.
There we go.
So the path that is directly in front of Jesse Shaw, that one along the right-hand side, that is the path that you're heading up.
This one?
That's the left side.
We're going up.
Yeah,
to
I
this
thought I
level.
was
Yeah,
like, wait, who's right?
Yeah, Jesse Shaw is
That's-
Jesse Shaw's right,
this
so
one?
this side.
correct. So
Right,
you're
right.
walking up that path. You kind of take a peek in. So Allure, I'll go and get you to make a perception check looking in.
Should we get the
Oh,
minis
Oh,
out?
so-
I'm looking in.
I can. I
Well, didn't you
thought
say that
that-
you were doing the lean?
Oh.
That
No, I
is
just
very
said
in
we can
character.
just
Oh,
go
we
in
can
and
do
go
the
through
Sorry,
one of us.
I thought you said
will
I
do
can.
it.
I thought you said I can do the
We're
lean.
taking the lead
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah. So go for it. Elite.
Okay,
Go
sorry,
make
before
a
that-
perception check.
If you're taking the lead on this, I'm just gonna say, hey, Elite, this might help. And I'll just give her a pat on the back and cast guidance, which adds
A D4 to ability check.
Yeah.
Guidance is a cantrip too, right?
It's
So
a
I
really
cast,
good
so
one.
I roll a d20 and then a d4, which
Correct.
okay, cool.
And add to your perception.
So who's coming up to the house first then?
Believe.
Because I can also see in the dark, so I can see into the shadows if there's something spooky in there. Perception.
Spookaroo.
21. Okay.
That's very helpful. Thanks.
I like
Thanks
it.
a lot. Thanks a lot, Leaf. I
Oh,
feel
no
like
problem.
that really helped. That encouragement.
The best pat in the back there ever was.
Well, I actually cast a spell, but yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not that good.
So making your way up the road, you begin to take a bit of a lean in, and you realize what originally looked to be one structure is actually two. You do see that there's a clear separation between the two. A few trees dot around the outside, steering clear of those. Just taking a quick glance inside, these look as though they may have once been the homes of acolytes or priests. The stone is now bare, a few rusted sunburst symbols, rotting wood bed frames being overgrown with weeds and moss. But the one thing of interest for you is you notice that most of the flagstones in the floor are fairly even, but there's one that seems to be raised on one corner.
Hercules.
There. I'll gingerly step in, kind of like carefully. Maybe somebody can watch my back while I step into the structure.
I would come along and not let you get too far ahead.
Okay. Yeah, because everyone knows we've like something interesting over here. So I'll go over the flagstone and maybe like try and check to see if there's any tripwires or traps of any kind before I.
Yep. Make an investigation check.
You still got guidance, right?
No. It's next ability check.
Yep.
One shot deal.
Just one shot. I mean, it's a cantrip, so
You could just keep popping it.
I can keep popping it.
Once you pop, that fun doesn't stop.
Once you pop, you just can't stop.
It's not untrue.
Uh-oh. Should he have
Am
popped?
I-
Even
can
with
I,
the help?
like, am I-
No, it doesn't
can
get
I
a pop right
assist this?
You are in
No.
alone.
5.
5.
It's
Okay.
definitely not trapped, right?
You're looking at it, you don't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it appears to be untrapped. The flagstone is definitely just loose.
Great. I think it's okay. So I'll just reach out and like gingerly.
Yeah, it lifts up. No
Elena,
issue.
what do you drow I see?
Nicholas, what are your outfits?
So, gingerly lifting it up, be very cautious, checking and making sure it just lifts clean out. Underneath that, you see that there seems to be an old wooden chest. Fairly basic, but it does have a small iron lock securing it.
Do you told us about it? Are you telling us that from outside? What have you found?
I found something. I found a little chest.
Looking over Illy's shoulders, does the chest look like just a chest?
It appears to be just a chest. It's very basic wood. It's just got a small latch and a small lock
teeth
on it.
On
Can
this
you bring
chest?
it out?
No, looking like it might be a minute.
Have like a tongue of some
Chest
sort?
as in small. We're talking the size of a laptop.
Can
It's
you
not an
bring it
overly
out?
large.
But
I'll
like
just
with a
have the
tongue.
light, yes, I can. But there is another building back here if we want to go into the next.
Why don't we
one
just
as well.
pop this chest while we're
Is
in
she still
here?
just looking, or she gone in?
You've gone. She's gone in. She's
I
found
think
the
we should-
flagstone.
I think we're all in.
Yeah.
I think we should open it outside in the daylight.
All right.
After the last chest
Oh,
that
if-
was
if we're-
opened
Are we
in
in?
the dark
And
was
it's
not
dark in
great.
here?
It's not dark. There's no roof. It's fairly
Oh,
wide
Okay,
open.
okay,
oh,
then,
yeah.
then we're
So
good.
we're fine.
I'm
Step
panicking
inside.
over no
Why don't we
reason.
take it with us and then just look in this other building as well?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You're just
So
taking
picking the
it with you,
chest up, you do hear a bit of jangling inside. It seems like there's some kind of coinage that's in there for sure.
Jingly jangles.
And then making your way across over to the other one.
Great.
Yeah.
Can somebody move me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. You're going ahead. Are we following you?
Yeah, I think we're all following.
Yeah,
Yeah.
follow on.
I'm
There
gonna.
is watching my back.
Yeah, I got you.
So stepping
But like
into this
super
one.
wary of that tree.
Yeah.
Understood. Super wary of the tree.
The tree.
Gotcha.
That's right there.
Keeping
Heck
our
off,
distance.
trees.
Are there any ravens about?
Where you currently are, make a perception check.
Watch out for those spider monkeys.
Ooh.
4.
4. Oh.
Malaki
Looking
spider
around,
monkeys.
you don't see any
You got
ravens.
caught
No
by one.
birds, no wildlife,
Yeah.
nothing.
It's just like super bright. Yeah, you just look at something. Ah, fuck.
Yeah, basically just like look up, it's just like, where's that? Ah! Oh god, you're Donald Trump looking at the eclipse.
Oh,
Hey.
please don't ever, ever.
Oh,
Trump's
it's
the
that
long
image.
row, yeah.
It's that image.
No.
He
Alright.
is the true Strahd.
We're here.
Trump should never be
Really?
mentioned in this
He's
game.
the Strahd?
No, it's true. He's not. He's like
He has no place here.
he has no
Or
power
the White
over
House.
these lands.
We play this to get away.
Yeah, we do.
So we're in this house.
So looking into that house, taking a bit of a ginger look inside, you see that it's fairly similar to the previous one. A few rotting wooden bed frames, a few feather cots and mattresses, straw cots that are definitely broken open. The straw seems to have seeded in the ground a little bit. Make a perception check.
Can I assist? Give
Yeah.
her advantage.
Yeah,
Now
go
that
for
we
it.
know there's cobblestone, it's
Oh, I was gonna-
really carefully looking.
Yeah.
Oh, were you gonna
Guidance?
do
Can I
guidance?
cast? Yeah, can I cast?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah.
And
So
add a D4 as well.
Hackaroonie.
Oh, you're gonna be able to roleplay a few.
Oh, nat 20.
And a 1? What? We have to take a picture of
Yes.
this. Advantage and nat 20 and a 1. That is
It's
great.
magical.
So fucking great.
Okay, so that's also with my investigation or perception?
Perception.
So that's 26, 27. No,
Wow.
28.
28.
Total.
So, Elise,
Beast.
Elise, what's the weather gonna
Yeah.
be like tomorrow?
Elise, where's Strahd?
In his castle.
Shit, I just fucked that up, sorry.
Just hanging out, having a great time.
So, looking around in the interior, definitively knowing loose cobblestones were a thing, you are looking underneath mattresses, picking everything up, being very careful, running your hands along the walls. It appears to unfortunately just be an empty
Yeah.
room.
Okay.
When you get to that 20 and there's like literally nothing, you're like, oh, it's a cottage.
Well,
No, you do get the feeling this was definitely the sleeping quarters of acolytes, priests, people that were for the church. You can see that there are small insignias that are definitely rotted away now of the wooden Palor symbols. There are some bronze ones that are definitely, and copper ones that are fully green from all the years.
Is there any like holy symbols that are salvageable that would be easy for us to take with us?
Salvageable, yes, but not really currently. It would be something you would need to take back with you and kind of return to condition. You would be able to do that with a few of the copper ones, maybe worn down a little bit, but you could buff them out, things like that.
Antiquing.
I think we move on to the church.
Yeah.
Agreed, but perhaps we take this chest outside the sun and see what's inside.
Crack that bad boy open.
Let's do it.
Imagine it goes.
Can we
It's me a ton.
check the lock before anyone does?
Check for traps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Investigation, yeah.
yes.
With
I
guidance.
rolled and then
With
asked.
guidance.
Yeah.
With guidance.
Oh, with guidance?
Add a d4.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah, welcome to guidance. It's literally anytime you make a check, add a d4.
Yeah.
21.
21. The chest does not appear to be locked. It is definitive. Or sorry, does not appear to be trapped. It is definitively locked.
I would like to try to open it.
Okay, go for it. Guidance.
Tap that
I'm
G.
just like, my hands are getting real wrong. Like, I'm sorry, I just keep gonna do
17.
17. Okay. Fairly straightforward lock. You manage your lock picks in. Miss it the first time, but end up catching it on the second. Lock pops open, and the chest is now unlocked.
Oh, what about here?
Crack that bad boy.
Awesome. So it seems to be full of assorted coin. On the inside, you see that there are symbols to Palor, and it's kind of looking at this and knowing your background, especially having experience with the church, knowing yours as well. This is essentially a prayer collection box. So inside here, you find, you find 257 copper pieces.
And these are Barovian copper.
Barovian copper, yeah.
Okay. Should I put that in group with you guys?
Yeah.
And you find 11 silver pieces.
I think. Did someone mention that this is a prayer box?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know about.
No one mentioned it. It's more so that you two just recognized it.
Oh.
You, Hope, would probably recognize it as well.
This looks like a prayer box. I feel like we should give this to the church in the town rather than keep it.
Advertisement. He's like,
I was just hoping it would be Rick. Hanging away.
Just Rick. Hanging
Just
away.
Rick.
Oh,
Hanging
Rick
away.
swinging on the sign.
Or like Rick shirt cocking it on like a surfboard.
Yeah.
Like with a cocktail
Rick
and
Donald ducking.
sunglasses, Like,
Yeah.
Donald ducking on a surfboard made out of your realtor board.
Alright. Church time.
church.
So-
Churchtime.com.
Church?
Okay, if we're nearing the church, can I be, as I've also been, can I see if there are any ravens on it?
Sure. Make a perception check.
Fuck. It's 4.
4?
It's almost 20.
There do appear to be 2 ravens that you can see, even with that super low roll. You just kind of hear the cawing a little bit, and you kind of count. There are probably about 2 that are on top of the steeples, but you can't see them at all.
I'm not piling on this, but I would have been keeping an eye on it too because I've been noticing the ones that were on the inn. I've been actually keeping track of how many have been at different times.
How many are there? Would you do, Rich?
I mean,
was gonna guess there'd be like 1 or 2.
well, it is light outside, so it's hard for me to see. I don't know.
But your sunglasses.
Yeah.
Hey, so there's a big old symbol to Palor hanging out just outside the church, right? Big old
So
copper
on the
symbol.
front of the steepled church, it's it's kind of fallen from its hinges a little bit, and it's kind of skewed off to one side, so it's not perfectly vertical, but it is there. It is definitively rusted. It's starting to green slightly over the years. It has been some time since it's been taken care of.
Like, how big is it?
How big is it?
Yeah.
In diameter, it's 12.5 feet.
Oh, okay.
could I make?
I have a mage hand.
Can I make a
5 pounds.
Well, no, I could just get it to unhinge and then it'll fall.
Yeah.
And
Can I
what,
look-
roll it back?
Yeah, can you?
Can I look around the room to see if there's any?
Well, you're not in the church yet.
Oh no, just in here.
Oh, in there. Sorry. Yeah, I thought you. Yeah, sorry.
No, in the room that we're currently in.
Yeah.
Can I just look around and see if is any kind of items that might help us in sticky vampire situations?
There is
nothing.
I mean-
No, okay.
Did roll
28
it.
roll didn't find us.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to the church, friends.
Yeah, I have to say, this place is kind of making me think of one of the prophecies, one of the fortunes that was told. With I'm wanting to keep an eye out in case we see any graves for the evil tree on top of hill. I mean, I thought that might have been the windmill initially, but I'm a little suspicious of this
The
area.
Goliath tree?
Yeah. Oh, wait,
especially
yeah.
with them saying that
They
two are
buried the trees.
But aren't there many trees around here with many of the buildings? What makes this tree so special?
I am with less. That's
I
the thing
don't
I
know.
never thought I'd say.
I'm just trying to be very aware of what we could be walking
proceed
into.
with
It's
caution.
true. We never know if we're gonna be finding something that we've been pretty
But we can also come
Doesn't
back.
look
We'll leave
good.
to mark the way.
Yeah.
Does seem like it's been a little quiet here.
Do I still have the hunters in like an eye line? Can I still see them, or have they gone into the trees?
They're just like
You
flittering
getting?
around.
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
They're just like watching our backs. Don't go in the trees. They immediately go into the trees.
I was.
That's
11.
why.
11. Yeah, you can't currently see.
Is that with guidance?
I think-
Do I still have guidance?
No, I think
Every
it's
time you make a check, as long as Jesse says
If I'm near
guidance,
that,
you have a
yeah,
d4.
Oh, okay.
Throw a d4.
Oh.
So 13.
13. Okay. Yeah, you still can't really see them. They've definitively cloaked themselves very well in the trees.
Okay. Doesn't necessarily mean that they've been us, though. It just means that they're.
I know we haven't.
You
Yeah,
do
they
notice
said
they
they're
kind of
doing it
looking
for
around a
her.
little bit. That you just kind of hear the clink, 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 clink. Are you guys done yet?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
all these guards.
Dude,
Yeah.
Fucking guys.
gang.
We're not.
Can we just stay in here? Is that okay?
Yes, you may.
No.
While you in our
We can
sight.
stay in the
Yeah.
in the little
They
safe
should be
place.
outside light.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
we can
No, there's
keep
no
an eye
roof
them.
on this.
No, I know, but like, they should not be.
I
out
think
of
they
our
should
sight.
No,
stay
that's
with
what I'm saying.
us.
They need to stay in our sight, definitely,
Yeah.
is what I said.
I
Like,
agree with Allura. I think they should.
Yeah, we should keep them
And maybe out of any of the trees.
close enough to us.
Yes.
I think we keep them outside of this church just in case.
Oh yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, I don't
Stand
think we
guard.
should take them into the church with us, but I think that they should stand outside the church.
Yeah, okay, I'm okay.
Like close on our heels,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Wander
Yeah.
our way over.
Alrighty.
Sweet.
So, making your way, heading east, ignoring the buildings to the north, you eventually find your way down the path, turning left and heading up to the northern path, following the winding road along the hill. Atop the hill stands a large round tower with a steepled church attached. Both are in surprisingly good condition, although half of the tower's roof appears to have caved in, with a large tree rooted against the side of the tower, its branches growing into the tower about 30 feet off the ground, where a wall would have once stood. 2 large double doors lead inside the church, and several narrow windows are visible on the remaining exterior of the tower. The semi-fresh corpses of 2 hideous giant spiders are crawled near the base of the tower.
Cool.
With large grooves in the dirt, outlining that they were apparently dragged there. Bloated bodies are slashed and gouged, legs and chunks of their abdomen missing, seeming to have been mauled by some large animal. The doors to the church lay rotting and askew, stuck hard in the ground and needing to be either broken down or forcibly pulled over.
Leaf, do you wanna join me and examine these guys, see how they died, see if we can recognize anything about them?
I'd be happy to help.
Yeah.
Can I assist with that? Because if it was like an animal, maybe I've come across something like that in my hunting days.
Sure, pick someone and you'll make a nature check at advantage.
Oh boy, who's got the best nature? Not I, said the man who grew up in the city forever.
I think I got.
Whoever's
Nope.
got intelligence.
No,
I have,
sorry.
I have medicine. I don't have nature.
I got medicine.
You not got nature?
No.
I got one. If it were a number, I have one.
I've got a +2 to survival. But
Wait, are you the
Plus
smart?
this.
Hope's the smartest. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Hope you're
That
doing.
doesn't surprise me.
With this,
Actually, yeah.
Hope you're gonna be our accountant.
None of us are intelligent. We're
Go
just.
ahead and pop
I have
that one out
wisdom.
there.
would this not come under the survival tactic and like being
Nope,
around for
this
so
is
long?
a
And,
nature check.
Nope.
And it's
Survival
not-
is tracking.
It's not
nature,
medicine?
well, track like
it's not a human.
Oh.
no, but
That's
tracking
exactly-
the thing that did this, would I be able to see like where it went or?
Well, I think
if
You
it
could do
tracks?
that. This is them
That's-
looking at the bodies.
No, but
So
I
we'll-
want.
will-
This is what I want to do.
Yeah,
I want to
so
see.
we'll do theirs. and
Yeah,
then we'll
yeah,
get to
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Jordy, work here.
So yes, you guys are there.
Okay.
All right,
I just wanna
let's
see if
do.
that was
I'm
possible.
I'm gonna assist Hope and give them guidance.
Okay, so advantage with the D4.
Cool. Let's-
Hell.
I'd hope. Let me know if you see anything. This place starting to get a little spooky.
So
And you can see those 2 squares that don't quite have in front of the tower,
Yep.
that don't have anything on them.
These guys?
No, sorry, on the tower. That's the
Oh.
church.
Oh.
That's the tower. So those 2 squares that don't have anything on them, that's where the 2 giant spider bodies are.
Oh, I understand.
17.
17. mauled, definitively, partially eaten, fairly long dead, give or take several weeks, maybe a month.
Okay.
Maybe it's moved.
For you, you're looking to see where they were dragged from.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and make a survival check.
We can't tell what kind of animal, but whatever it was, fed
Whatever
on
it
them.
was larger than a giant spider.
And how big are these spiders?
Perhaps a dire
They are from leg to leg, about 11 feet, and then from front of the maw to the end of the abdomen, about 8.5, 9 feet.
Okay.
Nice.
So not
So
that.
that
These are big spiders.
Yeah,
Nine.
sorry, go ahead.
19.
19. Where they were dragged from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they seem to have been dragged up the hill through the trees, and you would need to go through the trees in order to really find further. It's substantially far off.
I don't think we want to go through the freezing.
I think we're good.
We need to
Perhaps-
stick
These,
together.
these bodies were dragged through the forest. They were not kidding when they said do not go into that area.
Perhaps
it
a
was
dire wolf.
definitely a creature larger than them, which are 9 to 11 feet.
That's
Here.
very big.
I would be.
So why do we think they were left here? What's the purpose of leaving these bodies
Is
here?
it being a
An
sacrifice?
offering? Yes. That's
Could be a
I
wa-
think something's living in the tower.
could be a
I
warning not
agree.
to come here.
Are there any gravestones around this area?
Making your way around, you don't seem to see any.
Or any other kind of markings to kind of...
Okay. What kind of other markings?
I'm just thinking of any kind of like stones or perhaps uses of... I don't know how you'd be able to check for cremation.
Okay.
Or just...
Make a perception check.
Do we know if Strahd uses
Can I
any
have your
other
guidance, please?
creatures or animals to his disposal other than the vampire spawn?
I think it's possible that he has control over many creatures of the dark, given how old and powerful he is.
8.
8. No. Yeah, looking around, looking for markings on the side of the church. Doesn't appear to be anything there. Looking along the ground, doesn't appear to be anything there.
I do still... Especially, I mentioned the fortune. This feels like a bad omen to me with these spiders being left next to this tower and with it being a rather unsettling looking tree.
So there's stuff.
I mean, we should go in.
Can I?
He's gonna fuck us up.
And the guards just kind of outside are like, yeah, you guys can go ahead and do that. We're gonna stay out here.
Can we?
We get it, it's your
we
first
need
day,
to make
Schmidt.
some kind of signal. If you spot any danger, you need to be able to call for us.
She'll scream.
That'll do.
We should have a safe word.
Cool.
So like,
Just
that way
yell
we know
pineapple.
pineapple.
So there's trees blocking the doors?
No, the doors themselves appear to have sagged slightly into
I
the
see.
ground where the wood needs to be really pulled or broken
I see.
to get inside.
You searched the corpses
I did.
and nothing.
Before we go in,
We
I'd
know-
like to look at the tree as well.
Yeah.
We know they were fed. That the creature was larger and it fed upon them and it took them here.
But there's nothing on them.
No.
I did not find anything on them.
Didn't find
Or
a
would
snap
that have to
buried
be
into
a
it.
separate
Ten
kind of
gold
check?
in its
It's do the
gold
same
in its
thing.
ass.
Well, it'll get lumped
Yep.
together, but like, what kind of thing would you find on them? They're dead spiders. There's not a whole lot that you would be finding.
Yeah, like
Frostbite
weapon fragments or
spider
something,
venom.
but we already know it was a creature.
Giant
Yeah.
creature.
CSI, Barovia.
Hey,
Actually, that's a point.
Hey,
Can
but-
we like basilisk it?
Oh, like get some.
Let's get.
Wait, get.
Like snap the tooth, have the venom.
Oh, based on your nature check, you know these are non-venomous.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just
That's
giant.
what I meant by basilisk.
They're more like wolf spiders than anything.
Okay.
Just giant
Oh,
ones.
are they hairy?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
hairy
you
legs,
just like
hairy abdomen.
Oh, I don't
stab the
like that.
horcrux, which
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't realize was a
And
horcrux
like
at
half
the
of
time.
the eyes are just gouged
Oh,
open as
really?
well.
Hey, Gabe,
Let's
before
break
we
this
go
door.
into the church, what are we actually looking for?
Elif wanted to look at the tree.
I want to actually take a walk around the tower before we go inside,
Okay.
see if there's any other openings or places that other things could attack us from the inside.
Like, what
Know
are
all
we
the
looking
exits.
for? when we go?
We're looking for a symbol of Palor.
Well, there's that big one right there.
I know, and I'm thinking we get that.
I think we know it when we'll see it. I think if there's something legendary here, it'll be more powerful than just some.
Some rusted hunk of metal.
I guess I'll have to
I
fire up
agree with
detect
Elif.
magic and do some antique inspection.
Oh my gosh.
Leaves
Also,
Antiques Roadshow.
if you see any
Amanda, knives behind you, beside the fridge.
Shushing?
if you do find
Yep.
any more
That's what it's there for.
ravens, I know you and Leaf can speak to them.
I can.
I sort of can. I've never actually heard one talk back to me, but
They're
I'm
not
reading
very
on it.
smart.
Do you want to do
but
this perimeter?
Let's look around
Yeah,
the
should
outside
we
endings
go
of
as
the
a
tree.
group just to
Yeah.
Or at least
ensure?
as a partial group.
Yes.
I want to come with them. Just,
Yeah.
So where are you bringing the
So
guards with
from
you,
where-
or are you
no, we're
leaving
gonna
them?
let them maybe stay where they're on the front.
What, we're gonna
So it's
leave
a
them
fairly
alone?
open area in front of the church. They can just post
Yeah,
up on the grass kind of
basically,
thing.
Yeah,
maybe
alright.
not like right in front of the church. Like we're not gonna have them like standing outside the doors, like do 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 do.
Taking
But like,
pictures of spiders.
yeah, they can just be a little bit away from.
I'm a little bit cautious of leaving them alone because they don't seem like the best smart people.
I'll stay with them.
You want to stay with them?
Sure.
But we have to leave them alone at some point because we're going into this tower and they're not.
Well, it's true, but
I'll keep an eye on them for the
We-
purpose of this perimeter.
All right.
can you just get Rick to stay with them, and if anything fucks
Hey.
up, they can honk at it? He can honk at it?
Rick's on a thing.
Something?
Yeah, he's doing a thing.
Okay.
all right. Well, if you volunteer to stay,
Yeah, I'll stick
behind,
around.
You sure?
I'll play
Are
some
you-
cards with these
I
guys.
mean, it's not so far that it's gonna take us like 10 minutes to walk around the perimeter, maybe.
We'll just yell if we.
How long will it take to get around?
To go around the perimeter of the building?
Yeah.
If you're looking intently, 7 to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Can I make a bit of a gesture to see if the hunters are still around?
Of course. What would you like to do?
Hunters!
What are the names again?
Yevgeny and Zoldar. Zoldan?
Zoldar.
Zoldar.
Yevgeny and Zolda.
I was gonna say that chair could just be pushed right back.
Which one?
Open up the space.
Oh, that big
The-
brown one?
The big one, brown one.
Oh.
It can be pushed
there's a little
like
stool
towards
there.
the
We'll
kitchen.
get Jesse to do it when
Yeah, he'll do it. You can just pull it towards the kitchen to open it up a little.
Yevgeny and Zolda. If you're still around, make a sign for us.
You just hear a bit of a
Nice.
coming from two sides of the trees, and they're just kind of like echoing back and forth a
I
little
think
bit.
these guards
They're
are
fine.
safe out. Because, like, these guys are
Fine.
here. Yeah, they'll be fine.
I mean, ultimately, if we can't leave them outside
Wait.
on their own for 5 minutes.
No, wait, I got an idea.
Oh, no.
Hunters, make another noise if you've got eyes on the guards while we do the perimeter here. Well, that's it.
We've hired them, but they're not.
We've hired them. There's no reason to think they could just fucking leave.
They're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
They're
they're-
quite independent.
They've got a job to do.
Yeah.
Hunt.
So you're
Oh, yeah,
eyeing
sure.
it,
I'll take a bit. Thank you.
and I've been dipping.
So
chips
they've
into
kind of
it,
like
so
we
I
hired
feel
them to
like
guide us,
that's
but they're
fair.
doing something else on the side, kind of thing.
The guards
hunters.
or the hunters.
Yeah.
The hunters, they've echoed that they are in the woods, that they're having a lookout, but they are not there to babysit guards.
Right.
Yeah.
they're looking out, making sure nothing's coming in. They can't also watch in, making sure that the guards are good.
Okay, well, let's just check up.
I mean, they're fine.
I'm getting a sense of like where they are and where they're posted and how they're going about it.
You get a general idea that, like, if we imagine this as a perfect circle, one of them was give or take at about 1:30, and one was probably about 10 o'clock, 9:30.
Okay,
somewhere
cool.
there.
I'm just like, so they're like there.
Ultimately,
No,
they're
no, whole area.
Oh shit.
They're
okay.
way on the outside.
We don't know where.
You don't know where
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
You just general idea. One is like kind of off north, like more east than north, and one is a bit more north than west.
We never talked to them and be like, hey, if we're in deep shit and we need help, like, do we have a sign? Do we have a way to call them? To be like, cuckoo, and like come to the rescue?
I mean, ultimately, I don't think we can really trust or count on them anyway to
I
get
agree.
out of a jam. I think it's best to just
They
like,
would charge
hopefully
us
they'll
a
come.
hella lot if
Yeah.
they were to do that, I imagine as well.
Right.
Then we'd have to murder them.
Doctor.
What? Chaotic neutral. Nothing should surprise you.
Sorry, I finished off the cheese.
Guys, let's get in this place. Well, let's do the perimeter first.
Do the perimeter.
Oh, I didn't miss
But also,
anything.
just want to say, I don't think we need to be too like precious with the guards because
I don't think so
ultimately,
either. They're guards.
They're gonna be out here. We'll do our best to keep them safe, like in a fight. But I also don't think we need to be like,
No one's gonna save their lives for them.
here's our precious treasures. Like,
Yeah. Our
stay
baby
safe.
boys.
Yeah.
And if they die, whatever. We
Yeah.
have another plan.
One of them turns out to be like a sleeping wizard that just comes out of the body and is like, oh my god, where have you been so long?
Schmidt is Strahd confirmed.
Schmidt is Strahd, confirmed.
Okay.
Write your
Perimeter.
fan fiction or a new Patreon.
Are we doing this perimeter?
Yeah.
God.
All right. So making your way around. So who's doing the perimeter
I
check?
wanna come with the.
I'm staying with the
You're
guards.
staying with the guards. So
I'll be the one kind of investigating. for the
I'll
most part.
come with as well.
Okay.
I'm curious.
So are you heading around to the west and around the back, or are you heading around in front of the tower?
Yeah.
In front of the
Around
tower.
Yeah.
Okay. So making your way in front of the tower. The stone is fairly smooth, definitely weathered. You can definitely see a few cracks here and there that have started to make their way through. Going around to the other side, you do eventually see that there is a very large tree in front of you, probably 35 to 40 feet up to the tallest parts of it, and then fairly wide as well. The trunk itself is probably almost 8 to 10 feet across. It appears to be fairly gashed, as if something had been hacking into it, or had maybe torn or been thrown against something. You're not quite sure. But it, passing by very cautiously, very carefully, does not appear to be moving.
Can
What
I?
kind of tree is it?
Kind of a tree, is it?
Yeah.
Make a nature check.
While this
Can
is
I
happening,
assist her with that and guide?
Yep.
can I take some time just to examine the little vial I have?
The vial?
I have a little vial. You gave me a card for it, but I don't know what it does yet.
Oh.
It's this gentleman here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we should make our comment check.
Yeah, just so I can, maybe use it later.
14. It appears to be some kind of a very large oak tree, but not a traditional oak from what you've seen. It looks like there's some kind of an alteration to it. But looking around at the rest of the trees that you've seen so far, that's not exactly out of the ordinary. There do appear to be some that have some kind of either mutation or aberration to their base genus type.
So I think it's something that is standard to this world, or is it something that seems like it's the result of like a spell?
Most likely probably standard to this world based on what you can see at least.
And so that's the slashing.
No, just the type of tree
Okay.
that it is, but the slashing is unnatural.
Okay, can
16.
I? Oh, sorry.
16? Okay. General idea, it's something to do with disappearance. You're not entirely sure how it would function. But the dust itself, you pull a little bit out and kind of like toss it a little, and it covers a little bit of your fingers, and they go invisible.
Cool.
Glitter.
I know what's up.
Invisiglue.
So,
Can I just put my hand up to the tree and say,
Hey, buddy, if whatever it was that messed you up pretty bad, that thing comes around here. I don't know if it's possible, but if you could just like give us a sign or something, I'd really appreciate that.
Because you can talk to plants.
yeah. And I'm just gonna kind of pat the tree and.
as
willing to
you
touch
do
it?
that,
Oh!
Fuck yeah!
They said not to touch the tree.
Don't mess with the trees.
you kind of reach your hand up.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, it's gonna be okay. As you put your hand and go to touch it against the end of the tree,
Yeah.
and you touch it once, and you remove it, and you touch it again to pat it, and it goes inside as you notice a bit of a maw opening.
Oh!
Yeah!
We are
Let's
gonna
fucking
get
go!
Oh
everybody
shit!
to
Okay.
roll initiative.
You gotta touch the fucking tree. You said not
I
to
was
touch
just
the
about
tree,
to be
you
like,
touch the
don't
tree."
touch it. You can touch it, but don't touch it.
So unfortunately, my mini collection is not that big, so we're gonna reuse this one. But
That's
you can
fine.
put that on
Can
the
I
tree
have
first.
a like
No,
standby
does that
mini?
just automatically
Can I, Jordan?
already
Can I have a
built this?
standby mini?
Oh yes, of course.
Does anybody want to give a holler for old Doc to join him?
I'm just gonna scream.
Pineapple!
All right. I'm gonna come running on my first turn.
Think really hard.
Just an Eddie.
I heard pineapple, so I'm gonna run real fast.
Oh, I thought we'd have a Mike truck situation.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well,
probably pretty close.
no, Mike's busy right now.
Mike.
So Leaf just gets
Are you there?
fucking.
It's me, your friend.
Oh, now
It
you
is
want
like
to talk to
Harry
Mike?
Potter.
We really
He's
could
got
use a
one
help
little-
right now.
Yeah.
We're
I
not
don't
even
know
on
if
the
you're.
inside of the
I don't
damn
know if
thing.
you're in my head or if you're
So,
the doctor.
Yeah.
But I'll take whatever I can
As
get right
your
now.
hand goes
Stop
in and
again.
passes
Yeah.
in against
Oh,
the second
shit.
tab on the tree,
Yeah.
you can see that the mouth begins to open, and you kind of just inherently put your hand almost
Yeah.
inside and before you start to recoil a little bit.
Yeah.
The creature itself does reveal itself. As this, I need everybody to go ahead and roll initiative for me if you haven't done so already.
Oh man.
Yep. I'm dead.
Hey,
Okay.
that was alright.
Yeah.
I don't like this tree!
So this is
Why did you have to touch the tree? Why?
Oh.
Why did you have to touch the tree?
so 25 to 20.
25 to 20.
25 to 20.
I don't know, it's just a thing. Sure, it's a character flaw, I have it written right here.
All right.
Actually,
Do you touch your own
20 to 15.
Whoa!
17.
subscribe to our Patreon.
I can dash on it actually. Right?
Dash on action.
You
Okay,
said
that makes
instantly
moves me
regretted
12
it.
steps.
I did.
And I just buckled down.
On your.
Whoa!
Oh, sorry. 20 to 15.
15.
15?
16.
16?
18.
18.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
19.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
We're
yes.
doing okay.
We're doing alright. I hope this
Fucking arms
tree.
are flying out of that thing.
So many eyes.
I know.
So sorry, 18 was somebody? Yeah, hope you're 18. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
15, 16, 18, 19.
We're gonna get to the root of the problem.
17?
17.
Oh my gosh, we're so in sync.
Less.
Yeah.
And then
Were
less
you,
3.
were you knocking on wood?
4.
I feel like
I was gonna say,
very
not
much
everyone.
our characters were like, yes, 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 yes. Les, come on.
What do you want?
I'm having a ball.
I'm busy checking my Tritongram.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I gotta see what the other trines are up to.
so, as the creature animates,
Fucking
it goes for a quick snap against you. I'm gonna go ahead and get you to just make a dexterity check for me to see if it manages to get an attack.
Oh, no,
No,
that
no.
shit. Yeah, I got a 6.
Yeah, okay, so it is gonna get a free attack against you. This is going to be
Chomperoo.
at advantage because you did not meet it. So, this is going to be... that is a 19 to hit.
I have 19.
Okay, so that is a hit. So
Fuck.
Right, if it
Damn, I
matches,
was
it
so
hits.
stoked on that. I was
Yeah.
like, I
I
got
was like,
19.
I got a 19.
That fancy new shield. Didn't do shit!
Your shit. Fuck.
The shield was made of wood, so.
I knew we should have gone those fucking mugs.
There's a lot of dice there.
Oh,
So
what
that
is it? Do we know what it is?
No.
you take 21 points
Wow.
of piercing damage
Whoa.
as the bite snaps down against
Yeah.
you, and it kind of grabs onto you as best it can. In addition to that, you notice that as it bites you, one of the roots that's in the ground begins to shift slightly, and it's going to go ahead and try to make a grapple attack against you with the root. That is a natural 20.
Yeah.
This deals no damage. However, it does hit. The target is grappled. And your escape DC is 15.
Okay.
Heck.
Sorry, so 21. Okay.
So yeah, 21 points of 21 points of
This is how I
slashing
go
damage.
out. It's meant to be.
Well, Leaf gets killed by a tree.
I was doing it in this way.
So as it bites down his pineapple.
That's enough for me to notice, so I'm gonna come over soon.
Fuck.
Oh.
I was literally, before you said like I touched the tree, I was the second way to be like, no. I was gonna say
Yeah,
no.
all of us were just like, ah, fuck.
Yeah. I touched the tree.
God damn it.
Damn it.
Alright, so with that, the fight has begun with the tree moving first on a natural 20.
Okay.
So with you grappled by the tree, it's going to go ahead and first reach out another grasping root at the character that is closest beside you, which is Elith, I'm guessing.
I think it was Elise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just making these
Yeah.
in the right order.
So this is going to be a grasping root. That is an 11.
Nice.
So that does not hit. Okay. So the root, you're able to duck out of the way as it snaps and breaks the ground underneath. And you notice that the roots themselves seem to have embedded into the ground slightly, but probably not longer than a week to a week and a half. It appears that the tree has maybe moved itself here.
Do we think that this could be the thing that killed the spiders?
I hope to fucking God.
Looking at it, you're not quite sure at first glance. It's possible.
Yeah.
But the root misses. However, in addition to that, there's going to be a dual branch swing that comes down against you. So this is going to be first attack with the branches. That is a 14 to hit.
Misses.
14
What
to
is
hit.
your AC?
My AC. Oh yeah. It's 16.
Okay, 16. You're good. Okay. Second branch attack coming in against you. Wow, that's an 11 to hit. And then finally, the
Also run away.
last grasping root attack is going to go against you one more time. This is 4 total.
Or
Oh, the first two were
First
the
two against
were
you.
the
Yeah,
surprise.
were the sneak.
Right. Okay.
That's a natural 1. Natural 1, natural 2, natural 2, natural 4.
I like those dice.
Yeah. That was my good die too.
Wow.
It apparently doesn't like me today. So, with that, yeah, you managed to dodge every single attack as two very heavy branches swing down and slam into each other, and you just instantly jump back. One of the roots snaps out of the ground, and you pull your leg out of the way just as it kind of grabs air. But with Leaf still kind of entangled with it.
With all my experience with forests, do I know what this creature is?
At first glance, no idea. This went from being a tree that was very clearly a tree
Yes.
to now you notice that the
Yeah.
bark itself is shifting, that everything on it appears to be some kind of a falsehood disguise.
Can I shout to the party?
No,
real quick?
because it's not your turn.
Combat.
Leaf, you're up.
Yeah.
So you are
Okay.
currently grappled. Your speed is 0, but
Okay,
you
yeah.
can act as normal.
Okay.
Pineapple.
Can I try and break the grapple? Is
Yep.
that
So
my-
it's a DC 15 escape, either a athletics or acrobatics.
that would be my action.
That's your action to break the grapple, which would allow you to then move. Otherwise, your speed is 0.
If I moved, I would still get an attack of opportunity.
Correct.
Well, yeah, kind of got to.
You can still attack as normal. There's no disadvantages to attacking while you're grappled. It's just that you can't move. That's the only thing.
I gotta like heal. I get hit again. I'm
You got
dead.
gingerbread.
Oh,
Do I still have gingerbread?
Yeah, we hadn't eaten none of the gingerbread.
Yeah, all of us have.
Okay.
I don't think anyone has eaten.
No, we all have 3 pieces of fucking
I
gingerbread
don't have
flesh.
any.
Oh yeah, except
Yeah.
for Hope and Allegiance.
Gingerbread flesh.
Yeah,
I still need to break
Is
out
that
of
like a
this
healing
at
thing
some
there?
point.
Yeah.
it's like a potion basically.
Sweet. That's
Is
awesome.
it better than a potion?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Oh, fuck.
Where did I don't have it written down anywhere?
it was
God
like
damn it. Okay. Yeah. No.
We
So
each
I'll
have 3.
we each have
Gingerbread
three.
is 1d8 plus 4.
8 plus 4.
Did you give us like?
There was no card for it.
I wrote it down somewhere.
Do you also still have your potion of healing?
You said it's 1d8 plus
No, I
1,
think
so.
I gave it to someone.
I have my potion of healing, but I
And I
can't give it to
heal.
you
I
for
have
you.
one potion.
Okay,
I
okay,
can also
okay, okay.
heal.
I'm gonna try and break grapple.
Okay. Action either athletics or acrobatics.
I didn't get it.
Nope.
Okay, and then for my bonus action, I'm just gonna like scream out a healing word on myself.
Gotcha.
So that's. Dude, mom's spaghetti right now is going bad.
I only have 1 gingerbread left, so I used 2 of them.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, against the vampire spawn?
Maybe 1, but I think I used 1 in the game.
Oh
Like
yeah.
when we failed so very much.
Oh,
so.
against that stupid tree. Yeah.
The stupid fucking tree.
And I didn't get one.
Every time there's a tree.
You
Yeah, you did.
We all took some.
Yeah. You took
Yeah,
3.
he ate all of his.
Oh, that's right. Because
You,
him
took,
almost
you each
died.
took 3 pieces.
I take
unless you ate all of
6
his.
plus 7. I got 13 points.
13 healing? Okay. So you heal yourself back up 13 points. Alrighty. That is going to be your turn since your speed is 0. Hope, you're up.
Does it still look enough like a tree, or does it?
It definitively is the shape of a tree. It itself is definitely not a tree.
Oh man.
I'm really getting the feeling.
I think
It
it's-
appears to be some kind of a plant still, but a lot of the greenery that was around the exterior seems to have faded and gone brittle. Whatever it is, it appears to be able to change its shape and its coloring and give itself a false appearance.
Can I use a firebolt?
Sure.
If I...
This is the first fucking time I've tried to talk to a tree.
And
Well,
it's
in,
plus.
in
So
this
for this,
campaign.
you're adding your charisma and your proficiency.
Ooh.
I was thinking when you said don't talk to
And
trees, like, don't go into
proficiency.
the forest,
This
not
feels like a
literally
while.
The trees are like
21.
21 hits. So go ahead and roll damage on that,
nasty.
Yeah.
which is
Go
1d.
well.
It's
boy.
1d10, I think.
Yes,
Let me
that
know
is
if this
correct.
causes extra
Can
damage.
I also use Divine Smite on it?
I don't believe you can. I think Divine Smite only works for weapon attacks.
Did you call out to the doctor yet?
Yeah, I heard.
Really?
I screamed
I've just got if target is undead or
Fire.
fiend.
Yeah, but it's usually when you make a melee weapon attack, you imbue
You
it.
with.
Yeah, let me double check.
Man, I even talked about my new character. Y'all might be meeting next week.
As we bury Leaf under the tree monster.
Our furball got eaten by a tree.
Yeah, melee weapon
Oh,
attack.
got it.
All right.
Furball got
It was
got.
worth a shot. Can I also kind of be trying to set it on fire with this attack?
Sure.
And I don't add anything to it,
Correct.
so
Just
it's
the
a
damage.
free.
3? Okay. So you deal 3 points of damage. You see the fire kind of hits the tree and impacts, and you kind of seeing it hitting what looks to be a dead tree, you would imagine it would start to go up a little bit, and it dissipates across it. Does appear to deal damage. There is a burn mark, but definitely does not catch it on fire in any way.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So
Did
that's your
not hit
action.
well enough.
You do have a bonus action. and your movement still.
Okay, for bonus action, would I perhaps be able to try and break the grasp of Leaf? No, too much of a
Action.
main action.
Anytime that there's a grapple, it's always an action to try and break it.
Okay, have I got anything that can be of use? Right. I will. Can I throw my potion of healing at Leaf and be
You
like,
could toss it to him.
yeah,
Sure.
and be like, Leaf, catch.
So I guess I've got a hand out.
Is your arm one in there, one out?
Yeah, so there's one. So you're grappled currently. So you
Yeah.
toss the potion to Leaf. It's on the ground. You haven't picked it up
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
But you can pick it up as a free action on
Okay.
your turn.
Alright.
Okay. Awesome. So that's gonna be your turn. Hope. You don't want to move anywhere.
I'm currently a few feet back, so I think I'm okay.
You're good.
Well, actually, I might move forward to kind of be
I was gonna say,
defense.
I might try and move back so I can shoot at it.
It's
I
a
get-
tree. You can't move, apparently, like, hopefully.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
It's
the
got
roots
little
can
things
move.
coming out of the ground.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like.
If
it
anyone
looks
wants
like
to
you can
help,
walk.
actually, Wes,
it
if you want to
actually?
help me out, I really appreciate that.
Then yeah, I'm moving to stand kind of next to Leaf to try and at least like.
Goddamn Forgotten Realms Venus flytrap.
Oh,
Falling off that bridge.
sorry. I just realized.
No!
No, you didn't realize anything.
Yep, I did. Can you remove that mini? It's the wrong size.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sick.
Oh my God.
Please, that.
What?
That's the right size.
Damn
Of
it, it's
the,
a
that's the
dragon.
right size of the tree.
Yeah, actually, that does. Well,
Here's-
guys,
Sorry, I just saw that it was
It's a
huge, not
dragon.
large. So
Oh, dragon.
for
It's a
dungeoning.
dragon.
it's a dragon. So
It's just
with
convenience,
that, the tree expands to become its full size.
Wait till I see my
Revealing
true
itself.
form!
Surprise.
So it
Oh.
actually
Oh
revealing
my
itself
God,
now.
bigger.
Originally, you do notice that it actually appeared to be smaller than it is now. It actually has swelled in size because originally you saw it being about a 10-foot diameter. It's now grown to be about a 15, 16-foot diameter tree right across.
Everyone do
Well,
the
you just
Akira.
DM'd your mistake.
Wood tends to do that, guys.
Yeah, wood expands.
Like,
It does expand.
What DMing is.
Yeah.
I know. I love it. I love it.
The,
Tree now.
the old group tried to make up a rule that whenever I said sorry, I had to take a shot. I got wasted in like an
Oh,
hour.
yeah!
It was so bad because
Yeah.
like so many things are like, oh, sorry.
I was gonna say,
That's
is that
too-
not like a
Canadian.
Canadian catchphrase?
Yeah, that's
If
true.
you want to stereotype.
So, Hope, that is your turn. Doctor, you're up. So that whole space, the empty space in front, you do have the ability to run around. There is not trees directly there. I
Okay.
just couldn't create the map that big.
Yeah,
so
no,
it'd
no.
just
So
be
like
all
here,
brown.
yeah.
Yeah, it goes it goes 20 feet further before you end up starting to hit trees. So you've got like a full 5 squares
Right. Okay.
off
Okay.
the edge of it. So,
So-
if you want to run
Here.
around, you can easily do that. There's kind of an open space around all sides.
Okay. So if I can get to because I'm here.
Yeah.
With my move, I can get to here
Correct.
easily, and
you
I
could
still
go
have sight
back
on.
a little ways as well because
Okay.
you can go diagonally.
Yeah,
You can't
so-
shoot it from there, I don't think.
I totally can. Everything I do is all shooty based.
But
You-
the
I can see it,
the
but I-
building is...
The building is giving it full
Okay.
cover right now. You
So if
need
I
to
hit
move
here-
further. You need to move further to use your action to move in order to be able
Oh yeah,
to
no,
see
no,
it.
no. I'm bonus actioning to dash.
It's action to dash.
Action to dash. Sorry. Yeah.
So action to dash, you're able to get basically anywhere you'd like, and now you've got full line of sight on this
Yeah.
massive tree that's just slamming these branches into
Yeah.
your allies.
Uh,
So your bonus action.
Whomping willows.
so for my bonus action, can I try and discern what it is?
Sure. Go ahead and make.
Because it's a magical creature. I wouldn't know that, but I see it shifting.
You see it shifting. You see that it's fairly similar to what you've seen in mimics before. I'll get you to make. This will be a general intelligence check.
Oh, okay. 4.
4?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it is definitively an aberration of some kind. It is plant life.
Okay.
It is at least a plant.
Okay.
But it appears to have been some kind of mutated aberration on
Okay.
the plant.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty, that's gonna be your turn. Allura, you're up. Allura.
Hey.
Hi. Hello. I am going to.
Hey, hi, hello.
Hi. Hello. I am going to run up to the thing.
Yep,
The tree.
the tree.
You're running up?
Yeah. I'm gonna stab it with
Okay.
my frost blade.
Go for it.
Right You said it's got kind of like a mouthy bit?
So it's got kind of like a mouthy bit that seems to be shifting vertically, like it can almost move where its mouth is on the tree trunk.
Okay, I'm gonna try to, because I know it's got Leaf's arm in its mouth.
No, its leaf is wrapped up right now in one of the roots that's coming out of the ground.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to stab it in its mouth.
Okay, go for it. Go make your attack.
It's destroying your Instagram.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
Ha. 24.
Yeah.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll damage. So you get the D8 for the blade, plus your sneak attack.
Yeah! I get 2, right?
You get 2d6 for sneak attacks. Yeah.
Sneak.
Hooba hooba.
Thank. Everybody!
So, 15,
Plus your dex.
19.
Yep, that's correct.
Ooh.
19 points of cold damage.
Damn.
As Allura comes up from out of nowhere, Leaf, you just kind of trying to throw the giant root off of you. She just comes up and just pierces that blade directly into where the mouth was, and you see that a shock of white and blue begins to appear as kind of an icicle spider veins out from where the blade impacts. That is your first attack.
Classic cold snap.
Yes, I am going to then take a couple steps back and around.
Okay. So you're leaving direct melee with it?
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to go ahead and make an attack of opportunity against you?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
No. Oh, you wanted
Fucking
that?
swashbucklers.
Sorry.
Fucking
And
swashbucklers.
then I'm going to then take a
Crossbow.
bonus action.
Hand crossbow.
Crossbow.
Yeah, go for it.
BM.
Make a hand crossbow shot.
Oh, it was almost. 14.
14 misses, unfortunately.
Big tree. Zoom.
By a little bit.
Okay.
By a wee smidge.
It was almost.
Okay, guys, we'll bless up.
So, stabbing the frostblade in, kind of pulling back, you get a little bit cocky and begin to run away and just over your shoulder turn back and fire, expecting that to impact, and you just don't hear the impact against the tree.
Oh,
you turn around and you see
cocky.
the bolt just kind of flies off a little bit out of the distance. You're like, ah, shit. Okay. And prep yourself for your second round.
Oh!
Does it, so for my movement, because I was right here.
Yeah, that's basically all your movement.
20, 25. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
basically I want it to be kind of like.
Yeah, you're back and away behind it a fair bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
Does
I
it
think
seem like I'm further enough away that it can't grasp and bind
You're not
at
sure.
me? Okay.
also
You've only
just
seen it grasp the things that are closest to it.
I'm very sorry if I keep interrupting. I was just gonna say,
Cool.
can I have retroactively been like, when I moved, can I have got my shield and sword ready? Or no, because my move.
You always have those.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's never something like for you to cast spells. You literally just hold your sword hand out
Oh,
and cast it.
sweet.
You don't
Okay,
need to
cool.
have
I
one
just
different
wanted to
thing.
make sure it was like.
Not flipping through the
Yeah,
little weapon
exactly.
array.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a video game where it's like put my weapons away, cast my spells, take my weapons
Bleep,
out.
bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah. All right, awesome. So that is Allura's turn. Nicely done. Elif, you are up.
Okay, sweet. I think I'm far enough back that I'm gonna stay where I am.
Sorry, did you just move yourself back one square?
No,
I was
I just
like,
readjusted.
I was
Oh, you were-
in a
okay,
bunch
you were
of
in the middle.
squares, so I
Okay,
was like,
gotcha.
this is where I am.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'm going to use my bonus attack as Dread Ambusher.
Yeah.
19.
Whoa!
Yes.
That would be plus 8, so that's actually 27 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I get to roll an extra d8 of damage on my first attack roll.
Yes,
All
you
these projectiles
So it's
going
Yeah,
around the leaf.
Yeah, it's like a fucking William
do.
Tell.
D8 plus dex.
Oh, fuck.
Actually, it's d8 plus 4. Yes.
Well, at least I'll look
So-
great going down with
shit.
braided hair.
So 12 points of damage.
12 points? Okay, awesome.
And I would
Beautiful.
aim like right for where I saw Allura hit with the frost dagger.
Yeah, so you see the frost blades sink in and create this perfect snowflake target, and you just aim right to the center of that as you pull back and fire your shot, and it impacts right against that. Go and make your second attack.
Sweet. I need a second attack roll. 18.
18 hits.
Yeah.
So this one, 1d8 plus 4.
Guys, we're doing so good.
Shush, don't do it.
Hey, I'm still
You're doing great.
I'm getting hentai out here.
10. Alright, another 10 points of damage. Nicely done.
Leaf's eye
Solid round from Elite.
Oni-san.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Well
And
done,
you're staying where you are?
Yes.
Okay. So, notching, you fire off 2 arrows in quick succession,
got a hell of a
essentially
flush
Robin
going on
Hooding that
right now.
single spot with the
Yes.
with that. As the second one impacts against, and you can see the creature definitely kind of reels in a little bit of pain. That was a substantial amount of damage. Nicely done.
All right.
All right. Moving on from there, we have Les, bottom of the round. like to do?
Okay,
It's
so
Tom, nice.
look, thanks, my truck, yo,
You're welcome.
my oldest friend.
Thank you.
Is Leaf still like caught?
Leaf
in the
is still
tree?
currently grappled by the tree. Yeah.
Okay. First thing I want to do is cast fog cloud.
What? No. What?
You want you?
I want to obscure its vision.
No,
It looks
it
here,
obscures
everyone.
all of ours too. All
Does
of
it?
our
Yeah.
attacks.
That's
will
the
be
whole
at
thing. Is the
disadvantage.
entire area.
Everything we do will be at disadvantage.
There will be a time for fog.
Alright,
Please do not do
I
that.
thought I could obscure its vision from us.
No.
But,
No.
alright.
That would be the darkness spell with a single target.
Right. Okay, never mind. So in front of the tree is Leaf and Hope,
Yes.
Leaf and Hope. Yeah.
and Leaf is still caught within the
Leaf
tree.
is still grappled. Yeah.
Can I attempt to back up and throw a hand axe where he's grappled, try and release him? Is there a way for me to
You
do
can.
that?
There isn't a way to both do damage and release a grapple.
Okay,
You
well,
can do
then-
one or the other.
To release him from the grapple.
Okay, so in that case, you need to run up and you need to physically pull it off of him.
I will do that.
Yeah. Okay, so run up inside. So you can go ahead and make an. So this will be for you an athletics check to try and rip it off
Okay.
of him.
Okay, never mind. Just do what you're gonna do.
Only if he moves out.
Yeah.
Right.
If you stay engaged,
I'm
it
trying
doesn't
to
hit the
replace.
attack.
Right. Okay.
I gotta get kiting.
So, athletics check.
Yeah.
Bless you.
And I will be this next turn.
That is a 24.
Yeah, that is enough. You kind of reach up and like grab the branch and just instinctively try to pull it off.
Leaf,
and
I got you.
It's not quite pulling off, and you just go screw it, and you just rip the branch in half.
Okay, what comes out of the is it just like tree or?
It appears to be oozing some kind of dark brown. It almost
Yeah.
looks like sap, kind of,
Is
but
it
it is
blood
coming
and
out of it.
bloody?
It's not blood. It's definitely thicker than blood, but it does appear to be some kind of a liquid inside of the roots.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to ask who's after me attacking?
After you
I-
attacking,
Yeah.
it's on you to track it.
I am.
Alright.
No,
I'm-
you're not.
so that was
It's the tree and then it's.
That's okay. I
like
don't
in
need to
the-
know.
in the
Yeah.
That was my action.
That's your action.
I'm going to use Action Surge
Okay,
to attack it.
go for it.
And I'm going to use my Distracting Strike.
Gotcha.
So the next person up gets advantage on their
Another
attacks.
attack. Gotcha.
It's 20. Damn, I was gonna get out of there.
Yeah.
13 plus 6.
Hits. So roll your 1d6 for your trident, 1d8 for your superiority die,
Yep.
and add, I think it's 6.
Yep.
Perfect.
Like.
Mine were so high that I don't.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
a
You're supposed to keep
6.
track.
7, 8 plus 6.
Okay, 14.
Yeah.
14 points of
Damn.
damage. Nicely done.
Nice.
Another heavy hit as Les kind of twirls the trident
The
in the
trident,
air.
by the way,
and it
is
sees-
compact, and then I
Oh,
quickly-
Duke.
Is it?
Is it?
It is
I
now.
kinda want it to be.
In the fantasy world.
I mean, Jordy designed it.
That's
so...
true, yeah, sorry.
What's the matter?
This is the
Oh.
one with the Christmas trees
Yeah.
on the end of the trident points. Yeah.
Are
So
you
you kind of
sure?
just whip the trident out, and the flash of blue and whirling of that, you notice that almost ice begins to crystallize on it as you just go for the strike, and you can see that the hands, that the branches, hands per se, are kind of following along with the movement and are definitely being distracted by it. So next attack against the creature is made at advantage. Nicely done.
If I don't attack, will the person attacking after me have
The
advantage?
next attack
Okay,
made
perfect.
against
Just
it.
want to make sure.
Yeah.
'Cause I might
Perfect.
be-
So that's gonna be your turn.
Make sure.
Top of the round, it is the tree. So with the tree being where it is, it's gonna go ahead. So its first attack is it's going to attempt to grapple Les, having just broken the grapple on Leaf.
Yeah.
That is a 23.
That's the AC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 17.
Okay, so you get grappled by the tree.
Yeah.
Oh.
As you get grappled, it
pulls you 5 feet closer to it, so you're directly beside the tree, and the bite comes down and goes for a bite attack against you.
Okay, I'm gonna riposte.
You can't yet. Riposte is if it misses.
Is that? Oh, okay. That's just attacks.
That's
okay.
just that. So the first one was a grapple, and it grapples you. The second one is now a bite attack because you're grappled. It gets that as a bonus action. Yeah. So this was a really good thing that Elif did not get hit by that last round.
Yeah.
Or Hope did not get it. So that's a 22.
Okay.
So that hits. So this is going to be bite damage. That is 17 points of slashing damage.
There's still my potion on the ground, by the way.
There is also a potion on the ground.
I'd rather save the healer.
I agree with you.
No.
Yeah.
I
They tossed a potion
I'll
onto the
get it.
ground.
Okay.
Sure, I'll make sure everyone stays.
Yeah, go for it. Anything you want.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, if anybody wants anything in the fridge, help yourself.
Is
Like,
there more cheese?
yeah, there's another full thing of Borson. Of course. Yeah. You actually do the cracked pepper, the cranberry and cracked pepper.
Ooh,
It's
that
really
sounds
nice. Try that.
delicious.
This was something
I
you
need
offered
it.
the second to walk through the door.
Exactly.
Oh, thanks, Peter.
So that's the second attack. The third attack is going to be another grapple. This one is going to go after Leaf now. This is going to re-grapple you. That's a 21.
Yeah.
And now it's going to make the 2 branch attacks against you.
Yeah.
So this is going to be... It's going to make 1 branch attacks against each of you. So this will be against Les. That's only a 13.
Misses.
It's not hit.
Can I riposte now?
You can now.
Yes.
So you can go ahead and riposte.
So do I have to roll for that, or do I just
You do.
get it?
So yes, it gives you the ability to attack as your reaction.
It's 11.
11? Yeah, it's not going to do it. So you kind of riposte, but with a grapple, and it kind of swing you back and forth with the roots coming up out of the ground. You're unable to really find any purchase on it. The trident just swings wide.
Question, DM.
Yes.
If it doesn't succeed, is that?
Oh, actually, hang on. The next attack against it is made at advantage.
Oh!
You get to make that at advantage.
Yeah.
Because you distracting striked it, so you'll get to do that.
Are you
as your
sure
own
it's not the
riposte.
next player?
No.
It's the next attack.
You got this, buddy.
Oh, no.
To be fair, that was
12.
cocked against other dice.
Unfortunately,
Was
not.
it? No, it
I
hit.
think
It yeah.
Was it on a
It
flat
hit the
number?
dice and then it went
It was
over.
a flat number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hit
okay.
the dice though, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, now you know for next time.
Yeah. So, but I didn't use. My question was for the.
So the way
for the
riposte
maneuvers, if I didn't use the superiority die, is that considered used?
Yes, so the
Okay.
way riposte works is you use a superiority die in order to make the attack.
Right. Okay.
Then if you hit, you then get to add the bonus damage.
Okay.
to
Cool.
it.
That's just yeah. No worries.
Exactly.
Fucked it up.
So that's going to be your riposte. This is so that first attack against you
Yeah,
missed,
yeah.
branch attack against Leaf. That is a 24.
Yeah, that hits.
That hits.
Yeah.
So that's going to be. Oh, that's low. 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. That was exactly what I healed.
It's low. Trust me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 13 points of bludgeoning damage as the branch comes down and kind of cracks you over the top of the head.
Oh,
with your,
fuck.
now being re-grappled by the creature. So now with one of its roots attached both to Les and onto Leaf, and then a heavy bite attack and a heavy branch attack, definitively this creature is looking quite strong. After that, we come to Leaf. What do you want to do?
Wait, it's looking strong, like it's not looking fucked up.
Not really.
Okay.
There's that potion of healing.
So it's a free action for you to just pick up the potion. if
Yeah,
you
I'll
want.
say I grab the potion of heal. I'll kick it up.
Okay.
My
Pick it up and
hands
catch
are
it.
tied, Yeah. Oh, I guess not. Oh.
You want to quaff that?
Yeah,
thing?
I'm
Do a little
gonna
quaff.
try and break the grapple.
Try and make the grapple. Okay. Go make use your action. Make in athletics or acrobatics.
Fuck!
Not one.
It was a 19.
Oh.
So with that, the grapple still holds as the branch kind of tightens even harder around you. You actually take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. Oh, hang on, sorry. No, you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. It adds its modifier at the start of your turn.
Had to pet a tree.
You're out.
You're unconscious?
Alright, Leaf is unconscious. So that is your turn. Moving on from there, we have Hope up next. You see Leaf just kind
Leaf!
of try desperately to escape and then just eventually go limp in the creature's grasp.
I'll keep them here.
Stressy.
Yeah.
Damn, I really
I'm good with this turn of events.
Yeah, I feel
Let's,
like we're pretty upset about that.
Wand of snowballs it.
Haha!
Alrighty.
Yes.
So it makes a dexterity saving throw.
You don't gotta roll nothing right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
Dexterity save against what's the DC?
How
15.
15?
how far are those tendrils? Like how far can they go?
15 feet.
Holy shit, really? That's like a long way.
So DC 15 dex save. That's not on my thing. That's a 3.
Oh!
So, sorry, I should have asked this. How many charges are you using? Because you have to declare that when you make it.
Oh,
make the dex.
my apologies.
Don't wipe them all out because we
No.
still got this goddamn
2.
church to do.
2? Okay. So for that, go ahead and roll the damage on that. So it's, I think, 3d6 as a base, and then you use an additional charge, so you add 1 extra d6. So 4d6 points of damage.
Hell yeah.
That is 10.
10. Alrighty.
Oh no, actually, sorry, I miscounted. 12.
12. Alrighty. Nicely done. So 12 points as 4 massive snowballs just appear from outside the end of the wand. It just and impact against the tree. You see it gets lit up like something in every Christmas movie ever.
I love how the Destructive Strike was just a whirl of Christmas lights.
A whirl of Christmas. And I love how everything for you guys is snow and ice and Christmas
you,
trees
tree.
and everything.
Whistler
Great.
powers unite.
Yeah. Alrighty, so that is your action, Hope. You have a bonus action still. If I'm not mistaken, I think, I could be wrong, but I think your lay on hands might be a bonus action.
I bloody hope so.
Wizard.
I'm the damsel in distress this episode. Thank you.
Thank you for saving me.
Nope,
Honestly,
action.
I tried to save
Damn
you,
it.
it was folly.
So there is nothing you can do as a bonus action.
You know what?
unless
If I die,
you have something else, but I don't think you do.
I spared you a turn of damage.
Alas, I don't think I do.
Alrighty, so Hope, that is going to be your turn unless you would like to move anywhere.
No, I'm willing to kind of stick in my place.
Alrighty,
Can I have some cheese?
that's your turn. Doc, you're up.
Okay, so I've got it in line of sight. I want to drop a Scorching Ray into it. Well, 3 Scorching Rays, ideally. Sure. Shit. Okay. So it's all plus 8, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's 120, 18, 19, 20. Well, anyway, 18, so that's 2. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14.
14 misses.
Okay, so 2.
2 hits?
Two
Yep,
hits.
so go and roll damage on those ones.
Do what warlocks do and use Eldritch Blast.
Excuse me, I'm doing another thing first.
He's doing a better thing.
Potentially.
Potentially.
2d6 fire. Okay. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15.
Okay, 15 points of damage. Nice.
15 points of fire damage into this thing.
Solid. As the fire impacts against it, you can see that now it is definitively starting to really show signs of wear.
You want some?
Some of the bark has been torn off and broken. Large amounts of the sap is really starting to run out from the inside of it. It is definitively starting to look fairly hurt.
Okay. And I don't think I have anything for bonus action, so...
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold my ground there.
Alright, that's going to be your turn.
the road.
Allura. Allura,
Yeah.
you are up.
I'm gonna run up and stab it with my frost
No,
blade.
don't fucking run up.
Go
Too
for it.
late, it's happening.
It's gonna snare you like all of us.
No, it's not.
Not the doctor and a leaf.
Do we still get guidance or bless? Or
I'm fucking dead right now.
Oh,
so
no, you're dead.
He's
Oh,
unconscious.
He's not dead, but like he's going to be dead.
He's not doing good.
the blush is still
By the way, I
there.
gave her the metal dice, and it's been doing wonders.
It
course it
loves
is.
me.
Yep.
So 24.
24 hits. Roll damage.
This might be the evil trait.
And then Leaf hates nature and becomes emo Leaf.
Oh my god.
Oh, and this is plus sneak attack, right?
Listens to My Chemical Romance all day.
Hey, Leaf, I got a god you might be
The
interested in.
new leaf.
I told you, 2019 was grief.
16
Oh my
points
God.
of damage.
Okay.
Right, because it's
Yes.
1d8 plus 4 plus my sneak attack.
This is the
16?
year
Do you
of
want some
grief.
cheese,
So
Jordy?
yes, what did I say?
You said 16 points.
16. Yeah, 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage, okay.
And then I'm again going to run in, run back, shoot my
Pew pew.
pew pew,
Pew pew.
or pew.
Single
Can you stream
Single
one of
pew.
those too? I haven't tried one yet.
Yes, here, I'll swing it your way.
Thank you. We're Gordon on cheese.
15.
As we die.
15 just hits.
Yes!
Oh!
I haven't hit twice, like, with both of mine yet. I'm happy.
Dagga.
6.
So this was a lovely campaign. It was really nice to play with everybody. Hope we can do this again
7
sometime.
points of damage.
7 points of damage already. So, seeing what happened on your last turn, your last round where you stabbed the creature, fired your shot around the other side, and then you saw Elif come out and fire 2 bolts directly into the center of that little perfect circle that you created. I can do that. You just run in, stab the creature, a nice amount of blossoming damage. You can see that those icicle snowflakes that you create on the trunk seem to be staying there almost, and you just kind of aim right at the center of that and fire it straight through the center of that point, right into the area, and the bolt itself disappears inside. Nicely done.
Still only counts as 1. That's what I would have
That
said.
only counts as 1. So, Allura, that is your turn. Elif, you're up.
Okay.
So, you see the doctor go, oh sorry, not the doctor, you see Leaf go limp in the creature's grasp, and a potion fall to the ground beside him.
I can't do a spell and an attack in the same.
If your spell is a bonus action, you can.
Do I get bonus actions? I don't think I do.
Can I
Yeah,
have
we
more
all
cheese
do.
again?
Yeah, we all have an
Yes.
action and a bonus action.
Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna see where I'm at. And
So the spell will be classified as either an action or a bonus action.
okay.
So
Okay.
if it's like Hunter's Mark, it's bonus action.
The spell would actually be cure wounds that I would cast.
So that's an
That's
action.
an action. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would need to run up, be within 5
Yeah.
feet, and you would
Okay.
need to touch Leaf in order to cast it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna hope that we get to you, and I'm just gonna attack it and try and kill it, so that we can actually just regroup.
Move on.
Okay.
Regroup and heal. Because I'm no good for anybody if I'm also
Dead.
on this thing. Okay. And fuck. 12.
12 misses.
Yeah.
You kind of pull it back, trying to not hit Leaf as he's getting ragdolled around in front of it. You
Actually,
fire
not
a shot
even
and just
any
whistles wide and shatters harmlessly against the tough bark of the creature.
Bone coming out of the leg at this point.
Oh.
Alright, that's going to be your turn.
Yeah.
Alrighty. On from you, we have come to Les, bottom of the round.
Alright,
So you see Leaf
I can
directly
die this
beside you,
next round.
grappled, unconscious,
100%.
and as the potion rolls to the ground beside you.
Can I give Leaf the potion? Like
Yep,
make him
it's
drink
an
it?
action for you to feed a potion to an unconscious creature.
How's the tree looking?
It's looking pretty hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not on death's door, but pretty hurt.
Keep in mind, you got a couple of us guerrilla warfare on this thing.
No, I know, but it's just us taking the brunt of the hits.
Mm-hmm.
I can either heal Leaf to stay him from being unconscious, and then get hit a lot this round, and I'll be unconscious.
Yeah, because the tree acts next.
If Leaf's
How many
unconscious,
deaths
he's
have you-
probably
how
not,
many-
nothing yet.
That's
I don't think it's gonna keep attacking Leaf now that he's went
Don't keep
unconscious.
attacking her the fuck it wants.
Oh, that's
It's gonna be going for whoever dealt damage it,
That can reach.
which will probably be me. And
whatever.
I'm
Whatever
ready
you
for
guys
it.
want to do.
This is your first unconscious.
No, but like if it attacks him again.
If it attacks him within 5 feet and it hits him,
That's
it's
two
2 failed death saving throws.
And that's
Yeah,
on
no,
one
I'll put the
attack.
potion in.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
So you grab the potion off the ground, open his mouth, and shove the potion in as the roots are just wildly slamming you back and forth. You manage to grab onto him, hold onto him, and shove that potion in.
I
So
need
go and roll.
someone that pure of good to live in this dark world.
So go and roll for that small healing potion.
What a
You've got a
kind.
card that shows you how many points it heals.
Sorry.
That's the card.
2d4 plus 2.
Yeah. So I gotta roll 2d4?
Yep.
I got 1 4. Those are 2 1s. Plus 4. No, plus 2, sorry. That's
So-
4.
That's 4.
4 points.
Hey,
But no
That
longer
ain't- that ain't
unconscious.
dead.
It's 2 plus 4, so 6.
No, it's 2d4 plus 2.
Oh, I heard the opposite.
Sorry.
It's okay. So 4 points. Leaf. As some of the wounds begin to close and the blood from the inside your neck just starts to then retract back inside and the wounds
And
begin
as
to
a
heal a little
bonus action,
bit. Yep.
what are my bonus action options again?
For you, not much.
Fog.
Ready like a defense.
Everyone, it's just
Please
can't see
no.
anything.
Yeah, I don't think fighters have much in the way of bonus actions.
Sadly.
That is a suck.
You should definitely have some though. Of this kind. As soon as you're back.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Not in the clear right now.
You can second wind. Heal yourself.
Yeah, do that.
I'm kidding on myself.
1d10 plus your fighter level.
Yeah.
That's not the worst thing in the universe.
I thought maybe I'd try to save it, but I'll leave it now.
Are you sure?
I mean, this might be just me, but I think this might be the boss in this area.
We just hit its ass.
The boss that we walked up to and touched.
And pet. Yeah.
I think it was just
That's all I want.
D10.
Pet in a nice tree.
Buddy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. 7 plus 4.
Nice.
7 plus 4. Nice. So you heal for 11.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Healy.
Healing. 28.
Alrighty. So, with that being your turn, top of the round, we come back to the tree. Sorry, Les, you do also take... You take an additional... Les, you actually take 10 points of damage.
Fucking great!
From the tree. As you're grappled at the start of your turn, the roots bind and grip you even tighter. Alrighty, top of the round, tree. Currently having 2 creatures grappled. He's going to go ahead and make a branch attack against each of you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This will be one against Les.
Just
Less
those two.
and Leaf.
Yeah.
He's still grappled.
That's why, like, I would have got smoked because this would be an auto hit.
Yeah, you'd be dead.
So, Les, that is a 27 to hit.
Conscious.
So,
No.
27 to hit.
Oh, sorry. Oh, jeez. It's like, oh, fuck, bye.
However, 17 points of damage.
Oh!
1 point.
Yeah, boy.
This is going to be an attack now against Leaf. Ooh, that's a natural 3. Plus 9, 12.
Okay, I dodged that.
Yeah, so you do. So it kind of
Awesome.
slamming the branch against you is unable to make purchase on you. However, from there, you see that the roots underneath, the ones that previously had not been moving, the creature actually moves itself 5 feet towards you.
Yeah, so just like that.
Yeah, and it's going to go ahead and throw 2 more vines out, one at Hope and one at Elif. No, actually, sorry, Elif.
Just
Yeah,
trade the back.
yeah, Elif. Yep, one at Hope and one at Elif. So Hope, this will be a vine against you. That's a 19.
It hits.
Okay, so on a hit, that then gets its bite attack as a bonus action.
Sweet, go for it.
So that'll be 26 to hit.
It hits.
And the bite attack damage. Ooh, that's pretty good. Actually, no, it's not. 19 points of slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone hit this fucking thing. Drop it.
As you are now grappled, so your speed is 0.
Commence
And
to
you take 19
murdering.
points of slashing damage.
Yeah.
Commence to
And then
murdering,
finally, the
guys.
last
Where are the
vine,
fucking
a
hunter
root
guys?
reaches out.
Yeah, call
Told
them.
us not to
They're,
touch the
yeah,
trees,
they're
so-
watching and being like, wait.
Call them.
rookies.
Call them. Fuck it.
You,
What are we
you,
gonna
gu- you
lose?
guys are also like a good 60 feet away from the closest tree line. So wherever they would be a minimum of 60 feet away.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And I feel like they've probably
Elite, this is
hit this commotion
a
by
root
this point.
grasp attack against you. That is a natural 19, so 28.
Yeah, that
So
works.
you take no damage, but you are now grappled by the creature, so your speed is 0. So all 4 of you around it, your speed is 0. At the start of each of your turns, you're going to
We
take
got
damage.
this.
Alright,
So-
do me, buddy.
Leaf.
Yeah.
Start of your turn.
Yeah.
You take
10 points.
Oh no, I forgot about the
10 points of
surge.
damage,
Okay.
so you're unconscious.
Alright.
So your turn is over.
That was a good turn.
Hope. Start of your turn. You take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. I'm
And
sorry.
you can act as normal. You just, your speed is 0, so you can't move anywhere.
You still got your divine smite?
I do. Let me get my notebook back because I was snacking too hard.
So,
Yeah.
grappled. Who is feeling the most sore?
These
Two,
Well,
Leaf and
One.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a fiend? Would you class it as a fiend? No. Okay, so divine smite isn't as.
We'd still do extra damage to it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's still extra damage. It just doesn't do extra bonus damage.
So, yeah, because it would just do 2d8.
Yeah. So I think it
grappled,
deals.
you
So
can still attack.
grappled, you act as normal.
You
Your
just can't
speed is
move.
0.
It's restrained.
Restrained
can't.
attacks are a disadvantage.
All right.
Attacks made against you are an advantage. That's the really bad one.
And cool. Let's do my longsword two-handed.
Okay. Dropping
And-
shield.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That is 20.
20 hits.
And I would like to add divine smite to it.
Okay. And so for divine smite, you add a spell level to it, which I think.
Oh. Sweet.
Just gonna quickly double check here. You can spend 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage, in addition to the weapons damage. 2d8 for first level, plus 1d8 for each spell level higher than first. At 4th level, you have first level spell slots. So yeah, you deal an extra 2d8 points of damage on top of the 1d10 for the sword.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll your damage on that.
Okay. 2d8 plus 1d10. Where are you, dear?
Plus your strength.
That's my strength. Is that a 7?
Yeah, it's a 7. Holy yo.
Yeah, so that
Flesh.
is that is 23 plus 3, 26.
Yo!
Nice. Nicely done.
Damn, homie.
Nice.
Reeling back, finally getting hit by something, and really just anger surging through. Your teeth and
Pissed
your
again
horns.
that Leaf is fucking unconscious.
Your horns almost just seem to grow slightly,
Oh.
a little bit, as you just reel back.
Do you get
and
the
just
anime like
slam the sword directly down, piercing straight through, dealing a solid blow as the creature emits a very just guttural sound from within its mouth. It is definitively now looking on death's door. Doctor.
Cool. I'm gonna first move just out of its range.
Alright, y'all having fun back there.
When you move, it's going to go ahead and make an attack of opportunity.
Oh no, I'm not in range though.
Yep, it's 15-foot reach.
Oh, then I'm not going to move.
Too late.
Okay.
You move.
Oh.
It's getting
That is a 27 to hit.
Oh yeah, well that hits.
Oh no!
Allura, it's all you.
Oh, that's 17 points.
Oh, I'm
of
fine.
bludgeoning damage.
I'm okay. I'm okay, guys.
So 17 points of bludgeoning damage as the creature just, you go to move out of its range, you're like, I'm fine, and you just look away for a second as a heavy branch just slams you into the ground.
Yeah, I'm okay for a little bit.
Alrighty. But you now do move out of its range
Okay,
and
so
you're
I'm
able to
just out of
continue
here.
moving.
I'm gonna drop another scorching ray into it.
Go for it.
Oh boy. So all 3 of those hit. There's an 18, a 19, and an 11, but that's with my plus 8.
Yep.
So all 3 hit.
Come on, oldest friend.
That's the plan. And I'm gonna re-roll. I'm gonna roll 2 more because I only have 4. So that's a 21 on my first 4.
Oh, that's a good.
And that is 20. That's 29 points of fire damage into him.
You want to do this?
I am going to try and target the same point, like the same, because I've got 3 of them, and Allura's had like 3 strikes on her with the.
One was around the back, but you can see that one of the large icicle snowflake crystals right in front of you is just beginning to fade slightly.
Okay.
But you've still got the center of it that's available with 2 arrows sticking straight into it.
I want to snap both those arrows with 2 of the rays, and the third one I want to try and hit it up so it falls.
Hit
back.
up so it falls. Okay.
Yeah.
So first 2 slam it against the body, and the impact of those just scorches and immediately begins to burn and not catch on fire per se, but definitely begins to just scorch and
falls.
smolder inside. The third one goes up top and impacts against the top of the tree. The dead leaves up along the top, just slowly catching fire as it spins and wraps its way around, and eventually the creature itself just begins to fall backwards.
Timber!
And whoosh, into the ground. It lands and shatters into hundreds of pieces of splintered, broken wood with this very thick brown green substance, almost like sap, beginning to slowly make its way into the ground. Congratulations, guys. You have defeated a tree blight.
A tree blight.
Okay, so it was the same thing that was in the forest before.
But bigger.
But yeah.
Way fucking bigger.
A twig, but a tree.
Well, guys, that was fun, right? We had a good time.
Leaf is
I'm a,
Oh yeah.
Alright, let me get my lay on hands on Leaf.
Lay some hands on here.
Yeah. The music
It's
is
got the like thing where it's just the arm like bent over.
alright.
So, with that, the creature has been successfully dispatched, and you do see that the sides of where this spire, this circular spire once stood, there is a definitive break in that, where you can see the creature seems to have almost nestled itself in and broken the floors. Looking at this, you would imagine had you gone up into this, because it's about 30 feet off the ground, it would have been able to slam into the ground and shatter the floor underneath you.
That would have been so much cooler.
That was what it was designed to do.
So I'm gonna pop.
It would have gotten us
But
anyway.
Elise was like, let's go schedule a shower.
Yeah, but I touched its tree ass and then.
So Allura pulls out a piece of paper and adds to a list of maybe 4 things. Things not to do.
Touch
Pet
trees.
There's also talk to children and open boxes.
So Jordy, I'm gonna pop a gingerbread while we're all
Go for it.
healing up.
So,
Alright, let me
Okay, cool. So that's 8 plus 4.
So, the guards at this point, you kind of look back and instinctively go, oh shit, and look over to see if the guards are okay. And they're just kind of standing, like, weapons drawn, just shaking slightly, a good 60 to 100 feet away from you, kind of near the edge of the forest, but not close enough that they could be surprised by anything that might be in the woods. Yeah.
Was this you as a spell slot or a cantrip?
I'll do a thing for everyone, but I'm out, so.
Alright,
Someone
well let
bring
me
him
do
back.
my lay on hands and I might just give you like 5. Just like
Pop him back.
Oh, fuck.
Leif, are you alright?
Buddy, that was a bad tree.
It wasn't a great tree, friend.
Oh,
Not a great
God,
tree.
I'm so sorry.
It's alright.
It's okay.
Are you okay?
It's dead
I'll
now.
be alright in a bit.
And so alright, everyone, come here. And I'll pull the gang close and cast. We've got a bit of time.
You got 10 minutes for prayer healing?
Yeah, we got that.
Yep.
That's good.
Do we all need it?
I'm
Yes.
okay
Yeah.
now, but yeah, you guys.
I know, but.
I definitely could do with some, and so could
Okay.
Les.
Elise, would you
And
like to go searching?
this
I actually
potion
wanna, like,
is used, so
yeah,
I
I'm
figured
gonna
I.
start
Just hang on to
investigating
it.
this kind
And
of
that's just
area
you
without
just
going inside.
erase
Don't
it and
touch
mark
any
it.
fucking trees.
Well, did you say that there's
got an
like
eraser
dung
in
from
your
the tree
side?
on
Yeah.
the ground? Like, did it like secrete something?
The eraser is like gone on this pencil.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Like, invincible?
It's okay. I'm not blaming you. I'm not.
No.
Damn it.
That's powder I have.
Oh, that's okay. I thought that was the sap. I'm
No,
sorry. I don't
that's
know what
another
I was,
thing.
That completely different.
Jordan,
I
did you
guess.
say the tree like secreted some kind of sap or ichor?
Essentially, it looked like whatever driving force was inside it, part of it was probably this very odd dark brown green sap-like substance that as the tree itself shattered and the broken wood pieces finally separated, you saw began to kind of ooze out from the different pieces and into the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly grab the empty vial that the healing potion was in, rinse it out with a bit of water from my skin,
Yep.
and try to grab some of that and cork it up.
Easily enough to do. Yep. So you now have a corked vial of tree blight sap.
Whoever is sticking around just got 17 points of healing.
Nice.
Dope. I'll take that.
Each?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
That brings
Prayer
me.
healing.
Can I have your eraser again,
Cure
Yep.
please?
wounds if there's anyone who's like really down on top.
I'm gonna use my
You
last
just leave it on
potion
your side.
too.
I don't.
Oh,
Are
I
you
have to
fucked
do-
up?
Do not.
No, don't
Yeah,
do it.
Don't use
Okay.
your last potion.
No.
That is like in combat.
Yeah, okay. That's true.
Yeah.
Let's hit up this church, guys. Let's find some cool shit.
Yeah.
Is there anything else for us to see in the
Can
surrounding area?
Can I go here and like crawl on top of the tree and look around?
Yeah.
For things.
So,
I'm heavy breathing right now. That
I'm
was
glad you're alright, friend.
so the tree itself fell over. The trunk of the tree is about 15 feet up. It's kind of shattered down to pieces. You can only get about 5 feet off the ground. The second floor of that structure is about 30 feet up. You really aren't able to see anything. You can just see in where some of the broken pieces have fallen a little bit, and you can see that underneath that it appears to just be bare floor. It appears to be whatever this area is. It was built purposely high off the ground so that it wasn't affected by anything that was in the ground.
Okay.
Interesting.
Is there a way
And you
in
got
from
high
here? Or do we have to go through
acrobatics?
the door still?
Currently, that you can see, no. You would need to make your way inside the
do.
church to see if there's a way in.
Oh no! I mean, like, is there like, did the tree was the tree like part of the wall? Like,
It essentially broke the wall
Oh, I see.
and fit itself in against the
okay, so we
side
could
of the
conceivably enter that tree hole.
You could. It would just be 20 feet off the ground.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, let's just walk around.
Let's just go back to
should
the door, guys.
Can we continue to search around
Yeah,
this
let's
area in
continue
case there's
the
anything?
perimeter check.
What are we? What are we trying to keep an eye out for?
I mean, around the perimeter, we're looking for anything like that maybe that looks out of the ordinary in the actual tower, as well as
Dancing
anything
them
that's on
over.
the ground or around outside the tower.
Yeah, would it be worth kind of
And-
saving any of those twigs for future use?
Yeah, I can put a few of them in my pouch.
Damn, I thought you guys were gonna see my character. I'm not even being a dick, like I really... There's part of me, I was just like, why did I say that today? The day of all days.
Today of all days.
I mean, it would have been like if it had been you to pass away in combat with the tree that you were told not to touch that you touched.
That would have
you
been
wanted to
the
It would have
funniest thing.
been
I wanted...
quite excellent story,
I think
you
it's
guys.
on brand for Leaf to be like, this tree's hurt. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
I
it
know.
though.
Totally, it was great.
I'm just playing here. I'm just trying to live my life.
Yeah.
And doing a
just living
terrible
my
job
life.
at it.
I'm succeeding at living still.
Did we find anything else around the perimeter?
Yeah.
So, making your way around the perimeter, I'll get you to make one character make an investigation check for me.
Aleth, you're in lead, so
Yeah,
probably.
I have 2 to investigation.
Yeah, I
It's
got
not-
one.
I'm of no use there.
Okay.
It's fair to say my grades are fucked up, right?
Probably.
Definitively.
8.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm tying back into a
8?
top knot.
Yeah.
Just
Looking around the...
because, I mean, we're helping Sam get advantage.
It's at advantage,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay, so.
Not 20.
Yeah.
22.
Alright. Making your way around the backside.
Walking back.
Nothing of any real interest.
Cool.
Wasted 20 on that. I would also be looking out for ravens as well.
That would be a separate one.
Okay, I got that.
Sure.
10.
There are a couple of ravens that are circling around. They appear to have been scared off by the creature, and they've slowly begun to make their way down. You're counting about 2 or 3 that are slowly circling down from out in the sky onto the top of the steeple.
Doesn't sound like any magic raven I heard of. Scared no tree. Ravens live in those.
The
Do you wanna
only
chat to
wildlife
them?
that we see. I don't think we need to keep trying to necessarily get.
Let's
info
get
from
inside
them.
here and take some stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're just sort of a sign that
My
ultimately
stealing
it could be a
sense
sign
is
that like
tangled.
Strahd's watching us.
Then we should kill the ravens when we see them.
So, you do have one back door to the church. The
Oh,
church.
yeah,
This door
that's fun.
itself appears to actually be made out of stone, and a small amount of steel for where you could pull it open. It would be substantially heavier than the front doors, which are more wood.
So we've got a back door.
Back door's easier, is that what?
Yeah, back door
Harder.
Harder?
But those wooden ones are sunken into the ground, so it will still take some effort.
Correct. It'll be some
Well-
effort either way. It's just up to you to decide which one you want.
I think we should get
get the
Les
shit out of
and
them wood
hope
doors.
to
Yeah.
attempt that.
It's a
front
double
door.
door, so we may as well get as much light
Double
in
up.
there as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
I can
Yeah.
cast my cantrip too, though. Once we get inside, I have the dancing lights.
true.
Right, but do those protect against things that are affected by light?
No. It's better
No.
to have sunlight.
Well, on our way to the back, I might just try opening that door regardless, just for additional light.
Just for
Let's do the
shits.
front.
The back
We're
door.
in the back right now.
Yeah. So can I attempt to kind of force open that door?
The back door?
And
Yeah.
I'll give them
Sure.
guidance.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and make. It'll be
I think
straight strength to try and
Les
just
would be
push this door
helping.
open.
Les seems like he would
Les
help.
would
Sure.
be
So
helping.
at advantage
With guidance.
with guidance.
Ho-ho.
2 d20s. Pick the higher of the two. Add a d4 plus strength.
So that is 21.
21. Okay. So. And you do
Okay.
eventually manage to get the door open.
Throw my shoulder.
Yeah, you start to you feel a little bit of the metal dragging across the ground, and it catches on something, and then just and you manage to push it just beyond that.
All right.
You going in?
I'll
Hope?
cast my cantrip and send it
I
in.
think we should
Should go round. I agree.
Yeah, open
And crack
the
these
other
bad boys?
doors. Okay.
I just think we as much light in there as we
Yeah,
should would be.
and also if
Two
something.
exits.
Yeah, 2 exits, and if we've opened that, maybe awakened something.
On that,
What's
that
over
will
there?
go to that side.
Another tree!
Fuck those trees!
Okay, so we're out front now.
Yeah.
I moved us with a dance.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah, no, that was a.
I mean, in my head it was Pennsylvania 6500, but yeah, I feel you.
Pennsylvania 6500.
Da
Is
da
that-
da 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 da. Pennsylvania 6500.
That is gonna be the walking. When we get all of our when you animate all of us just walking across.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the music.
So we opening this door?
Yes,
Alright.
sir.
And we will
So-
wait for
Oh, Les is here.
Les to help.
Here
Yeah.
with us in spirit.
Les is here.
He's
Okay.
here. They're
Yeah,
here.
there's no. You don't urinate in Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
that's
there's
not
no
a thing.
bathroom.
What do you think the kilt's for? He's just doing it all work.
Like wizards in
It's what
J.K.
they do to the
Rowling's Harry
water.
Potter.
That's what you do under the sea.
Under the sea.
You piss yourself under the sea.
Under the sea, don't you?
That's fair.
Switches back to Kevin. Don't you? Alright, so go and make your strength check at advantage.
with
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, all he has to say is guidance. That's literally all
I'm
he
gonna
has to
try
say.
and work on some bits.
Oh, that was not as good. So that was 15.
15? Okay. 15 is the DC for the front door. So
Nice.
you manage to just, and with less pushing against the other door and you on one, you just kind of, and actually snap the doors off the hinges.
Ah.
Allow just, as
So
all the wood
strong.
breaks and splinters inside. But you do have all the doors open now. You can see directly across the inside. So, stepping inside, you see stone walls in assorted states of ruin, with the stone floor sprouting moss, mushrooms, weeds through the cracks between each slab. An arrangement of pews is still in place, though the wood that formed them has rotted and turned black, leaving a grisly image of a once full and vibrant congregation, now decayed and reclaimed by the land. At the front of the pews is a stone altar and a long stone table, surprisingly still intact, but now covered in moss and weeds growing up from the sides. Beyond that, a crooked copper sunburst turned a sickly green from exposure to water over the decades adorns the wall. Remnants of tapestries hang on the walls on both sides, with only a few inches of cloth remaining attached to the iron bars, secured. Along the east wall, you see a large metal door still on its rusted hinges and closed.
Let's open that guy.
Jason dancing lights.
Yeah. So you've got the room now fully lit. Looking around the inside, just gave me a perception check for me.
Leaf, please don't touch these mushrooms.
Not one.
Oh,
Okay.
Everything's
Count-
fine.
Looking inside, you just kind of like throw your dancing lights out, and even just kind of you just look away a bit from the dancing lights. Nothing of any real interest or note pops out to you inside. The door seems to be the most important thing.
Can I make a nature check on these mushrooms?
Go for it. What are you looking for?
I just want to, as I've had some just recently poor experience with the
local
would that be the
foliage.
flora
Yeah.
of the or whatever?
Yeah, the flora of the
flora.
environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm once bitten, twice shy. I'm looking around to see if they look a little mean or any of the nature around here looks
Sure.
mean.
Either
Go make a
evil
nature check.
Or fun. Who knows?
That's a nat 20.
Oh!
Nature check 0. So yeah.
0, so 20. Yeah, so the mushrooms at first glance do appear to be ones that you've actually eaten before. No differences from the discernible tops. Kind of looking around and underneath, you actually do notice they are slightly different. They're a little bit freckled red and black underneath on the underside, and you actually recognize that these are essentially disguised poison mushrooms. So you do know that all of the ones within the area would be, at first glance, completely edible and tasty, and then likely would deal lasting effects.
How would you know I would have fallen for that shit?
Can I take a look around the altar?
Sure.
Nobody I know.
So what are you looking for?
I'm just seeing if there's any anything we could take, like holy symbols or anything under the altar. Or...
Yeah, the altar is essentially just a stone slab
Oh,
in
okay.
2 pieces. There's nothing around it, underneath it.
Okay.
There appears to be some remnants of some kind of a cloth piece that was on there, but
Okay.
it's been so badly eaten and rotten
Yeah, it's
that
no
there's
use.
nothing of any real interest. The only major dominant piece is the additional sunburst on the inside, which is completely turned green from the copper corroding over the years. But that's about it.
Does it look similar to kind of the church in town where there could be like kind of like a burial next to
like
the
a
altar?
hidden thing underneath the altar.
That's possible. Yeah.
Can
Make an
I-
investigation check.
Can I have a look? Investigation 16.
16. Looking around, kind of finding your way, feeling for flagstones, trying to lift anything up. Everything appears to be pretty secured in. Doesn't appear to be anything that you can see.
Cool.
I'm gonna go check the door for traps.
Go for it.
It's so heavy.
Normally I roll for that, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
10. Looking around, looking along the edges, you're looking for any kind of wires, any loose stones. Doesn't appear to be anything.
Yeah, I think that door is perfectly safe.
Let's go.
That's great.
Let's door it up, guys.
Anything else in this room you want to check out?
Right.
Is everyone happy? Should I?
I'm satisfied. Let's try that bad boy.
Okay, I'm gonna try the door.
Okay. Go and make a strength check.
Strength check.
Yep. I'm trying to open the door. It's rusted on the hinges.
17.
17. So with an uncommon burst of strength, Allura just kind of checks this door. Yeah, this one's totally fine. And just kind of plants a hand. You just kind of go, I got this. And the door itself just actually breaks off the hinges. The hinges themselves let go entirely, and the door just clangs down against the other side, creating kind of a ramp into a darkened hallway.
I'll send in some of my
Elite,
lights
yeah.
to look at the hallway. Like, I can see what's in there, but you know.
I can see it, yeah.
So the lights pass inside, and you kind of just peek around the corner, and you notice that there's a staircase that appears to go up about 15 feet up to a secondary level.
Can I mention something to Leaf?
Sure.
Leaf. You feeling okay, buddy?
Well, I'm eating. I'm feeling a bit better.
I'm gonna go up them
You
stairs.
jackass.
So there's no door into
You
this
look
main area?
so pleased
Sorry?
for
There's no door
yourself.
into this main area?
Doctor,
so that's...
Aleth and I are kind of in the doorway, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, I
Unless
wanted to
you're
say something to him.
clambering over us. I mean, I feel like you might.
That's very possible.
So yeah, so right now there is the metal door that's been clanged open
Yeah.
and is essentially at a 40-degree angle, like you crawl over the door to get into that hallway, and then you see that there's the staircase going up. Based on the height that you saw from the other side and the height of how high up the entrance to the church was, it would most likely lead up to the second floor
Let's do that.
of the tower.
Let's go up. Let's
Yeah.
get
As,
careful.
as we're walking, I want to mention to Leaf, like, I'm glad you're okay, friend.
Oh, thanks for, buddy, you really helped me out.
Okay,
That
so-
was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to make your way up to the top.
I'd be like
I don't know
keeping an
where.
eye on the stairs to see that the wood's not rotten and we're not going to go through as we're climbing up. Make sure that we have steady.
Yeah, it
And
appears
before the
fairly. So, given that it was a steel door on this side, a fairly secure break, any kind of moisture coming inside in this seems to have definitely been lessened. The stairs do creak a little more than what you would have hoped for, but eventually you do make your way to the top, no real incidents. And there's another steel and stone door on the top, this one opening inwards.
Okay. Allura, do you want to check this one for traps or shall I? Yeah, I'll just do it.
I'll be guiding.
Checking for traps?
Plus
A
a D-
guidance.
plus a D4.
Were people helping me?
Guidance.
Guidance.
Oh, but,
Courtesy of
Were
Leaf.
like we were
1d4.
working together?
I mean,
Are you wanting to be?
You're gonna look for advantage if anyone's assisting.
9.
No, they didn't want my help.
Appeared
Oh,
Oh, I think did I miss something when I was peeing over there?
appeared to be untrapped. No, nothing on there. Again, looking for wires, looking for any kind of piece. It is definitely rusted on its hinges again, so kind of similar to the one that was downstairs. But giving it a bit of a test, you don't seem to see anything.
Let's open the door.
let's do it.
Alrighty.
Maybe we can try it together.
Okay.
Maybe
So I'll
with a
get.
little bit of guidance, that might help as well.
Well, Allura, you were there first. I'll get you to make a strength check at advantage
Not with guidance.
and a D4.
Oh, right, I have a -1. 9.
9. So between the two of you, you just kind of like trying to get a handle on the handle and just your hands just kind of slide off, and little bits of blisters from the slightly corroded metal. Not really getting any real purchase on this one.
I think Hope.
Hope or Les,
Les?
would you like to help with the door?
Les,
I-
I'll help you. Please take my help.
Alright, we're help. Compounding help.
Yeah, assisting.
Yes.
Assisting.
So go ahead and roll. It's a strength check, made at advantage.
With guidance.
So plus a d4.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what it's there for, is guidance. Guidance.
Oh.
Guidance.
Is this door gonna beat us, you guys?
10.
10. Yeah. You just get angry and stomp away.
Send in the fireball.
I'll give it a go.
Alright. Last ditch effort.
I'll help him.
Alright. With advantage.
Leaf was
Can
next
I
to me.
guide myself?
I think you can.
It's one willing creature.
Yeah, if it's a willing creature, then yes.
No big deal.
Yeah. So you guidance yourself.
Bless.
Why?
Oh, wait,
The door beat us.
so it was 6. What was that, athletics?
It's strength. Straight strength.
Strength? Fuck, okay, well, I still... Oh, I gotta roll my d4.
Roll your d4.
Well, boy, I hope this is more than, like... So it was
What's this door do? Can we set it up?
10. You just kind of...
We all got a 10.
Because initially you're believing this is a pull door,
Yeah.
because you push against it and it moves not at all. And you pull harder and harder against it, and then it's not moving at all in either direction. And then you just kind of instinctively lean against it a little bit and you just get a little bit of a where it does actually go into the tower, but you can hear the sound of like rubble scraping against the ground underneath it. This does appear to be very heavily set.
Oh, there's like, debris behind it.
Door's locked.
Can I make a running, like, charge at it?
There isn't a way to run. You're at the top of a staircase, just standing there.
Hmm.
At best you can do is put your feet up on the opposite wall and push,
Wait,
which
can
you
find
basically
something
already
to,
did.
Since it's been pried open just a little bit, just something to lever it open with.
I could try blasting
I
it.
know there's 2 people that haven't tried opening it yet, but they're outside.
Guards?
And Aaron?
Oh, yeah.
It's
no,
your
there's
time
like
to
the
shine.
Zoldar and
Oh, and
Green
big boy,
Ranger
yeah.
also, yeah.
No, I think.
How do we get in here, guys?
Do you want to kind of use my body to help with the door?
Like a battering ram.
Oh!
Are you sure you can
No,
take
we
it?
technically already all
Everyone has
tried.
already
Yeah.
attempted. You've all used your abilities to do that, so you have to find another solution.
Yeah,
Like I said, we need to try and find something in the
Hey, Sherry and Terry! The guards outside. I shout to them.
Like a pry bar, maybe?
yeah.
No
crowbar.
response.
Can
None?
I?
Can I go
Um,
walk
You say
over to
Sherry
them?
and Terry.
Can I go walk over to them?
Sure.
Can
Oh.
I use my longsword?
Can I?
I was gonna use the
Okay, hang on.
altar.
We'll do this one at a time. Kevin.
Oh boy.
So I walk out to the guards outside.
Okay.
I'll go with,
Yeah. What can I do for you?
I'll go with the
It's
last.
time to prove your worth on this journey. Come and help us open this door.
Opening a door. Seriously.
It's proven to be a bit of an issue.
Fine. Let's get in there. And they ascend the staircase and clamber over the now broken iron door and get to the top of the stairs.
Come on, this would be the best.
Fucking
Come
blast
on.
If they just like press
Oh
it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
They're
There you go.
super.
It's like-
like they're the most strong individuals ever.
Come on, boys. What else?
Good.
It's an Aaron. I don't know how to spell Aaron.
No, with a 4. Yeah, that's a 21.
What the fuck?
These fucking guys.
Yes.
Secret strength.
Good old Sherry and Terry.
Good work getting Wingus and Dingus to help.
So was it Aaron or Schmidt who...
So Schmidt is the one who's talking. Aaron is the one who hasn't really said anything so far.
Yeah.
And then just kind of...
got a real pen and tape?
And they both kind of put their feet up against the opposite wall, leaning against it, and do the, like, essentially the horizontal squat to shove the door open and slowly begin to push it open as you hear definitive scraping heavy rock on metal on the other side. This was a definitively hard door to open. DC 20.
Good job, friends.
So, pushing hard against the door, you hear the scraping sound of stone on stone and stone on metal and the resistance of heavy slabs of rock preventing it from being opened. Eventually the door is wide enough for you to just barely slip through, and you see the crumbled ceiling appears to have fallen in almost entirely, piling the rocks against the now open door. The floor is weathered gray stone with a few patches of moss growing through the window slits and into the area, and attached to the north wall you see a tall white shield. Large pieces of intricate gold trim adorn the front edges of the shield, with a pair of silver laurel branches laying across each other along the bottom, while a hollow gold ring with 8 points expanding outward from it dominate the top.
What's that again? No, just that last part. It's like the last word.
8 points expanding outward from the top of it, dominating the top of the shield.
Does it look like a Palor symbol?
Yeah.
Can I make
It appears to be a sunburst, but with a missing
I got distracted from
center.
the bread. Sorry.
Yeah. The bread is so good.
That's gonna be a meme. It's gonna be like a
I was distracted from the bread.
long description, like DM,
Go.
long description, player. Sorry, can you repeat that?
What was that last part?
Yeah, what was the last part?
And the first part? And the part in the middle?
Yeah, just all of that again.
So
Please
you see,
follow us on Instagram for memes.
So let's take it, guys.
Yeah. Can I make a perception check and just see if there's anything funky in the area?
Sure. You don't even need to do that. It's a gray stone floor.
Oh, okay.
You can see that in along the side, because you guys are now in that room. You've got the broken stone floor where the tree kind of previously sat in, and you actually realize that it was kind of holding up the floor, as if almost setting some kind of an ambush for anything that would try to get in there.
Nice.
And so get a little bit close to the edge of that, and you can feel the stone start to and shift and move a little bit, and so you very quickly back away. So you notice that probably anywhere within 10 feet of where the rocks really start to disappear, if you were to step there, the whole floor may give way.
Does it look like it's trapped?
Does the floor look like it's trapped?
It was trapped.
No, the shield.
Oh, the shield. You're up at the shield. Yeah, go ahead and make a investigation check.
That was not good. 3.
3? Yeah, not trapped. It's just on the wall.
And so the shield has the gold ring in it.
So the shield
it's not
is,
like a separate
so it's a
gold
tall
ring.
shield, laurel branches across the bottom, and then a large gold circle with outward pieces in 8 directions.
Just eyeballing it. I don't know if you want me to make a roll, but how heavy does the shield look?
The shield looks like it's something that could be wielded in the realm of maybe 20. No, 20 to 60 pounds, 20 to 50 pounds, somewhere.
Like a little tower shield?
Yeah, basically tower shield with a couple of cutouts in specific places.
Let's take it, guys.
Do we think that this is the artifact that we were told out?
I think so.
Pretty cool shield, anyways. But
Although the missing piece kind of makes me feel that if the piece was included, it would perhaps have like magical.
Sorry, the shield is intact. It has cutouts on parts of it. So if you can imagine like a standard tower shield.
Oh, right. I thought you meant
like
like there was like a piece missing.
Yeah, no. So it's got like a corner of the top left that's been cut out purposely, and then 2 cutouts in the bottom. Kind of like a design. Kind of like you would imagine that it would work really well if someone was holding it and a spear was on this part of the shield here. Because it would give you a chance to.
Or a trident.
I thought you didn't want a shield. Because you had your little coral shield that you love so much.
I didn't say anything.
well, we've got to check the voids.
I think this looks like a very worthy gift.
Gift. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think so.
shield is
the
currently
guards
attached
still
to the
with
wall.
us as well, by the way.
Guards are still with you. They're at the entrance of the room, just kind of like very carefully skirting around the edge with the floor, kind of drooping slightly on the other side.
There's a big tree.
I'm gonna say Schmidt and Aaron. I think it's best if you wait outside. I think that likely those trees.
No arguments. We're going. We're going. And they end up just stepping quickly down the stairs, and you hear the clink, 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 clink.
Steadfast,
Less than
good
move outside.
says.
Laurel and Hardy
Fucking
want
shield,
this.
guys.
This shield it looks wonderful, but
You should probably use detect magic.
Yeah, we can pop that if we want.
Up to you.
Yeah.
How many times can you do it a day? 3, right?
Once.
Oh.
3 times a day. That's a
I wish.
powerful ratio of those.
I think we should keep looking around and get all of the things, potentially collect things, and then you can detect magic all at once and
That's a
see
good
what
idea.
of those things are.
I guess so, but if he pulls things off the walls, then...
Yeah, if we have to take things off of the walls.
And
But
another
that is
tree.
a good
certain
idea.
sword?
Can we just take the shield?
That was
Oh,
there,
yeah,
where it
yeah.
is now.
Sorry?
The shield's up there for a reason.
Does anyone have an ability to
I'm gonna use my mage hand to try and just jimmy the shield down.
Word from far
Oh.
away.
Yeah.
Fall back up.
I've
Uh,
got thaumaturgy.
Yeah,
And
well,
Too
like,
late,
try and,
things
like,
happening.
Freeze it down.
No.
Too
I
late.
don't know if that would work.
Mage
It's
hand.
not that
Mage hand.
powerful.
So you see the doctor at the entrance to the room just kind of conjure the mage hand, and it just appears as this kind of spectral floating hand that eventually makes its way over, and you kind of feel around the edges, looking for any kind of loose bit, and then finally eventually catch a little bit on the top, and just... and the hand just is not quite able to get enough purchase, but there does appear to be some kind of a grip along the top, about 10 feet off the ground.
Oh, well, there we go. Who tall? Tall.
Oh, I can help
I'm
someone.
pretty tall too.
I can lift someone up there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who would you like to lift?
Everyone who's feeling tough.
I'm not tough. I've got a minus numbers
I
for
mean,
thing.
I'm pretty strong.
I'm strong too.
Who else is strong here?
I'm strongish. Probably not strong. I'm not
Bless.
strong.
Whoever wants to. I really.
Yeah, I'll.
No preference.
Come on then, let's
Alright,
do it.
yeah. I go and 3 point. Whoop! And I lift Hope up.
And I'm like,
So lifting them up, you're able to put them on your shoulders
Yeah.
with no real issue.
Yeah.
You actually are basically eye level with the shield, so you can easily just reach in and grab underneath. Go ahead and make a strength check, try and lift it off the
And
wall.
maybe check to see if there's any traps.
They already did that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it
perfect.
was. I didn't find anything.
You want to look
But
at
I-
the heart?
14.
14. You seem to be able to move it.
As they're trying, I'm guiding them.
They're already dead.
I know, I was like,
Yeah.
Sorry.
realized
just kind
after
of
the
like-
fact.
You're able to hook your fingers in underneath and start to lift it, but you can't seem to quite find the release latch point of where it's actually attached. So you're not able to quite pull it off the wall.
Oh boy.
not quite my day for this.
Could I try and parkour, jump towards the wall, and like panther jump off the wall and, go, and try to pull it off?
Sure. I'll let you make this one an advantage with Hope helping.
Nice. Is that cheese?
And I'll.
Probably. Eat it, Kevin. It's good.
Wait, no, that would.
It is cheese.
You want to hit him with guidance?
I gotta. Well, here's the thing. I gotta touch him somehow.
So good to
So
know.
like, get a
person.
foot out there and like kind of guide him
Strength.
on the way.
Strength.
I'm
Or
guiding
what was it?
you.
Athletics or
Uh,
acrobatics?
Add your strength.
Strength.
less than
20.
20.
Yeah,
That means the
good.
DC. So you jump up and lean against the wall and grab your fingers in against it and kind of do with an almighty tug. And you actually realize that whatever iron pieces were holding it there have rusted it onto the wall as you rip the entire faceting off of the wall, still attached to the back of the shield, and just pulling it off entirely. You can see that there are large metal bolts that have kind of eroded over time that were set in there, and you eventually found your way to pull it off completely. As you drop down to the ground holding the shield, all of the pieces that were attached to it find new purchase and eventually shatter and clean off of it, and you're now holding the shield directly in front of you. You also notice on the other side, as you land with it, you kind of look down at the shield, you notice that there's a plaque engraving on the other side of the shield, on the side that would be facing the holder.
Can I see what it says?
Sure. So you flip around, and you go to read it. What language do you know?
Hey Les, can I take a look at that?
Just give me a second.
I'm just saying, I read every language.
Can you?
A
Yeah.
word I understand in every language.
I just watched that episode.
She just watched them.
It's so good.
For the first time, watched Community, and I showed her the D&D episode.
Oh, I love Community.
And the paintball episodes. And it was the best 3 hour,
Pillow
hour and a half
Fort is
of my
so
life.
great as well
Yeah.
if you get the Pillow Fort ones.
Man, season
New
1 is where
Fluffy
you're
Town.
like,
A word I understand in every language.
New Fluffy Town was renamed to a new name of Blanketsburg. I'm sure that there was a confusion between.
that was such a good send up of
Oh
like
my God,
Ken Burns
it's so
documentary.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't have it on.
If only you had a guy who read every language.
So I know that you speak Triton. No, I know what your languages are. You speak Primordial and Common.
That's right.
Yeah. So you don't understand what it says.
Are you just like this some kind
Just
of...
hold on, let me describe this.
Oh,
So,
okay.
looking at it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
RP here.
Yeah. I don't know what this means.
Les, let me take a look at that.
Alright, I'll give it over to the doctor.
So do you just inherently?
I have Eyes of the Roomkeeper.
Okay, so
So I
you
read
apparently
everything.
read all languages. Okay, so holding it up, you recognize initially the glyphs and symbols don't really make any sense to you, and then they slowly begin to rearrange, and you recognize this is the rearrangement of Celestial.
Ah.
And in Celestial, it reads, the engraving has 4 lines of script that run horizontal. May we be granted the spirit to confess our sins.
Okay.
May we be granted the courage to conquer our burdens. May we be granted the strength to forgive those who have wronged. And may we be granted the light to carry us out of the shadows.
All right.
If you like, so it's spirit to confess our sins, courage to conquer our burdens,
Spirit to.
Conquer our burdens.
confess our sins,
Confess our sins.
Yeah, there was
courage,
not that one.
courage, conquer our burdens, strength to forgive those who have wronged.
It's not us.
Nope.
Except for trees.
Wait, hold on. This is
Nice.
perfect.
And light to carry us out of the shadows.
They'll fucking love this thing.
And then we kill them
Also,
and keep it.
it perfectly.
This really would help our testimony. Strength to forgive those who have wronged. It's actually talking about us.
It's true.
What do you?
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But is this a relic that we need to fight Strahd, or is this a relic that
Potentially,
we're
this
gonna
would be
give?
something extremely helpful to our personal.
We'll loan it and steal
I
it.
might have something in mind.
I play a large amount of poker.
Okay,
What?
let's go.
What
guys.
the hell? You're just meaning your poker face?
Yeah, his
Oh,
Poker.
Do you know what that song's
Puff,
actually
puff,
about?
puff. Poker?
Although it may or may not be
Sleeping with a man, but
the-
wanting to sleep with a woman, like thinking of the
the
woman.
treasure that Hope was thinking of, but it does kind of line up with the part of what the fortune that we were told with look for the treasure there, history, knowledge of the ancients will help you better understand your enemy. So I wonder if these verses are something to do with Strahd's past or some clue that we can use.
I don't think that was the Gulioth tree, though, and that seemed to be a prominent name.
No. Okay.
Let's just head back to town, maybe. We've got what we came for.
There was
Is it-
still
well,
that thing in the
maybe-
tower.
Well,
right?
we still have other buildings to explore. We might
Wait,
still
sorry,
find
Can
more.
we go on the top of that tower?
I think
This
we-
is the top of the tower.
This is the top. Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was peeing.
I think it'd be worth exploring these other buildings to see if
Yeah.
what else we
I
can
agree.
find.
Very well.
Just, we're all in agreement. No talking to trees.
Don't touch any trees.
Alright.
All right, yeah, let's
Understood.
let's go then. Let's leave this accursed building.
Let's go to the next logical.
Kinda go up to the two guards, Wingus and Dingus.
Who's carrying the shield, by the way, or if we put it straight into the bag of holding?
It's pretty big, right? Maybe we do put it in the bag of holding for now.
I think maybe.
Shield is heavy, about 25 pounds, 30 pounds or so. It's something that could definitely be wielded by a fairly strong character,
Yeah.
if you wanted to, but
It's probably not a bad idea for going back through these woods.
That's true. I
Yeah.
would say maybe either Hope or Lass, or
I think it kind of fits Hope's aesthetic personally.
it does, but
But it does have the trident space.
Should we
I only got one shield already.
rock paper scissors for it?
Can I like grab the forearm of Hope? Go like.
Is that rock, paper, scissors?
Rock, paper, scissors. Fuck.
Okay, well,
boulder, parchment, shears.
Hope get the shield.
So you have you can mark down that you have Shield of the Dawnfather.
Oh.
The shield of the Dawnfather.
Shield of the Dawnfather.
I want to go up to the guards.
Can
And say-
I put my other shield into the bag of holding?
Yep, of
Does
course.
this improve my AC at all?
Currently no.
Currently.
Is there not a
what am I
card?
putting into the bag of holding?
Currently no.
Hope's old shield.
Is it special? Does it have a name? What's
Nope.
going on with the
Dave.
shield?
Hope's shield.
Hope's shield.
Shield of Hope.
aw.
I want to go to the gods,
Here we go.
and I want to say to them, your strength was very much needed right when we needed it. You not held yourself at low regard. Thank you for coming with us on this journey, and I'll do the.
He's got a real way with words.
We're trying to teach him.
You tried to open a door. We opened a door. It's not hard.
That none of us could do.
Don't tell him.
Yeah, I don't think that shows how strong we are.
You're valuable.
Okay, so are we
On
checking
now.
out those other two houses?
Yeah.
So you've got 3 more buildings. You've got the one that's now from where you are, basically due west. You can see it just beyond a patch of small trees. And then there's one to the east that you would need to head down the road and make your way back up into a secondary area. That was the one near the well. And the one that was down the very, very far southeast corner.
Should we should hit up that well?
Yeah, I
honestly.
agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go like furthest out and then.
Okay.
go
What
back.
time is it?
At this point, you guys have been here. How long the battle was? How long the travel? Give or take, just coming up on about noon.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty, so making your way south, out from inside the church and the tower, you make your way down back to the crossroads area, heading east towards the well. Yeah? Okay, awesome. So making your way there, you eventually come upon to the well map.
Hey, it's a map.
So you see that there is a building in front of you. This one is in fairly good regard, fairly similar to how the tower and the church was. And there is one door on the side of that, and then the well that appears to be fairly low sitting, but does have some water there, and then a bucket that's been dropped into the well.
I'm not touching that well.
Let's bring the bucket up and see what's inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Can I like?
How
Go
fresh
and
does the water
look.
look? Can
I
we
saw
see
the
the
way
water?
dancing lights, right? I can send the dancing lights down
We'll
the
do this
wall.
one at a time.
Okay,
Sorry. Allura.
I'm just gonna not touching it, not going like too close, just looking at the well.
Just looking at the well?
Yes.
So the well looks fairly worn. You can see a lot of the stone has been weathered away. Moss and a lot of mushrooms have again grown up over the sides.
Poisonous mushrooms.
Ooh, mushrooms. Let's eat.
At first glance, no, and then looking on the undersides, yes.
So like the ones from last time.
Exactly. Looking over the edge and kind of peering down, you see that the water is sitting relatively high in comparison to most wells, which would make sense given not many people were actually drinking from it.
Okay.
And so you look down and you see that the bucket is just kind of bobbing on the top of it, and it just seems to be fairly still, stationary about 15 feet below the surface.
I'm gonna pick up a rock.
Alright, Pippin.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, fuck us all up. And then piranhas come out of the water.
Flying
Yes.
piranhas.
Yeah.
You don't drop the rock? Okay.
You-
You kind of pick up a rock and go to lean over the edge and just kind of just throw the rock on the ground beside you.
Is there a handle to draw the bucket back up?
It looks like there once was, but it's the mechanism is rotted away at this
Or
point.
the rope?
There was rope. Yeah.
Are there windows on this house?
Pull it out. See what happens.
I'm not allowed to drop a rock that will
I
pull
was
the
making fun
bucket
of you.
up.
I wasn't really trying to say no.
I
so
was
you
the
kind
one
of
who
like
said, "Let's
see
not
this, and you
touch
just
it."
go reach out and grab the rope.
I'm not going, let's just grab the rope, but I'll like gingerly like check it out, and if it seems like nothing is too amiss, maybe I'll send my lights down
Well,
the
it's
well.
not a tree, so I think you'll be fine.
Exactly, then I'll pull it up.
Well,
Hey,
who for a treat and no one's checking for traps.
Yeah.
That's what that's what I meant. I'm trying to like role play
Traps.
rather than be like, I'm making a check for traps, and like she's checking it out
Oh.
to see if everything's okay. Like,
Which I got. Make an
yeah,
investigation check.
okay, thank you.
I got you.
That's when I'm just like,
Yeah,
Schmaps.
yeah.
investigation check.
Check for traps.
Check for
12.
traps. 12. Does not appear to be trapped. The wood itself is in disrepair. You would imagine if you had tried to turn the original mechanism, it very well may have broken the splintered wood that was holding that up. So reaching out for the rope is probably the only way to really get that
Yeah,
bucket
that's
up.
what I'll do, and I'll like gingerly draw the rope up while sending like my light down into the well to see if there's to make sure that I'm coming up with it. That's
Perfect.
unwanted.
Alrighty, so reaching over, you kind of place your hands against the rope and just very gingerly grab that and begin to slowly start pulling it up. And the bucket itself is kind of on its side and eventually begins righting itself, carrying a little bit of water up with it, and you just slowly begin to pull it up. Nothing appears to come up with it. The bucket has a little bit of water, fairly stagnant. Definitely not much fresh water that's joined in there, but it is apparently just water.
Just water. There's nothing in the bucket.
Correct.
Let's look at this house.
Red herring. Well,
It's one of when we walk in the house, something just crawls out of it. Like,
Yeah.
the ring.
Oh.
Sorry.
So
It's
who's
called a specter. So, you do have the house next to you. There is also a house due south of where you are. That one looks to be a little bit in more disrepair.
Let's go to the house next one and then do one do so.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the one next to you guys.
there?
Sorry.
We're there.
So there is a door on the inside. The door does not appear to be locked.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Is there any?
Check for traps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the-
There you go.
Did
Make
you
an
say there are
investigation check.
windows?
No windows. Yeah, it just appears to be the one door that's directly in front of
That
you.
didn't end well for us last time.
9.
9?
Plus your stuff?
9.
9. Does not appear to be trapped. So just
Oh.
kind of testing against the door and just kind of gingerly opening it, pushing inwards. Yep, door is not trapped. You step inside. Looking inside, you see that a wide chimney and rotted piles of firewood lie jumbled outside the walls, or inside the walls of the sagging building. That's suggesting it was probably once a smithy back in the day. Inside, a variety of old tools, tongs, bellows, hammers, a large pair of iron anvils that are all scattered around the inside.
Is there anything interesting, like any leftover weapons?
How about these two rooms here?
Currently closed doors.
Are your dancing lights with
Yeah,
us,
I'm bringing
Granny?
them in with us.
Yeah, okay.
Love you, Luz.
Sorry, your thing, any weapons of any kind?
Yeah.
It just appears to be the smithy equipment, nothing that was actually made at the smithy.
Okay.
Okay, is there any of like the raw materials that we use to make?
Rotting firewood, but that's about it.
Okay,
Mostly,
so no metals.
yeah,
currently.
no raw metals or anything like that.
I want to check this door here.
Sure. Go make an investigation check. Look for traps.
I'm gonna guide.
Thank you.
Sure.
Can I also check to see if there's any like hidden spots, like any stones that look
Yeah,
out of
perception
place?
check.
So that's a 6.
6?
Can I?
Definitively not trapped.
Cool.
You just door opens.
Cool.
No issues whatsoever.
Leaf is just scampering around, guiding everyone, one after the other.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the other door.
Check it for
so
traps.
that is 9.
9. Nothing of any real interest. You're looking along the floor, looking for a loose flagstone, anything in the wall that might be a hidden compartment. Doesn't appear to be anything inside.
12.
12. Door does not appear to be trapped. It's very similar to the outside. You just kind of test the handle a little bit. It jiggles normally. No issues at all.
I'll open it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So opening the door, you see on the other side of the door.
Yeah, I think the doctor opened.
Yeah, I opened mine.
Yeah, you opened yours. Inside yours, you see that there are a few crates of now long rotted food. That's the immediate wafting smell of apples that have just turned to mush and assorted varieties of different fungi that have sported on the ground. Kind of a big plume of scent that just instinctively and you just instinctively slam the door behind you as the smell hits your nose.
Do not go in there.
Slam back door. Nope.
I'm
Knew that was coming.
Allura,
curious.
on your end,
You go nuts.
Oh.
you open the door, and as you do so, you just kind of push it inward slightly, and you just begin to hear a and look in, and you see creatures that are fairly similar to what you saw when Strahd visited you in the village of Barovia.
Oh.
The creatures that were outside, those zombie-like
no big deal.
creatures. But these ones you can actually see looking at you. They kind of the eyes come up, and you see that the eyes are kind of flaring with a little bit of red light, and the arms appear to be almost releasing ash as they begin to make their way forward. We're going to go roll combat on this one. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Slam the door.
Man.
Yeah. Nope.
2 fights in one night.
I wanted to go home.
Ooh, not 20.
Oh!
How many did I see?
How many?
Yeah.
You saw 4.
4.
The action from
But it's not spawn. They're more zombies. Is what you said. Okay.
So, oh shit. That's awesome.
Let's freaking go.
Natural 20 on the first one. And
Hey.
something real good on the second.
Bound.
What's
so,
their-
25 to 20.
Oh,
so 22.
22?
yeah, 21.
21? Okay.
I gotta get some new dice.
22.
Yeah, I'm sorry now.
1 dock. Okay. 2015.
19.
Yep.
Oh.
I think I go. Sorry. 16.
16. Okay. 16. Allura. Okay.
How are you all feeling, guys?
I'm okay.
8.
8.
What do you
Les,
mean,
what'd you
like-
have?
Like,
That's a 2.
I'm feeling like
Yeah.
it's. After post this, I'm like, I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the last thing.
I was in character.
Oh.
Yeah, like.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
fucking-
I just thought you were checking in on our well-being as
I mean,
you
also,
would.
but like,
Fucking
I was
dip.
checking on Hope's well-being,
Are we
character,
saying
but
just
also
like-
people-wise, yes. How is everyone doing?
I'm feeling
So-
alright.
With the surprise here, top of the round, Hope, you just hear Allura open the door, and you just hear and a oh shit, and she begins to try to close the door. What do you want to do?
I want to run forward
Okay.
to to join the fight.
Join the fight. Alrighty. So stepping in behind, you're able to get in either just behind or beside Allura.
Mm-hmm. I
And
think.
I'll get you four.
I think
How
behind.
strong are the walls of this house?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They're sagging a little, but they are stone
The
walls.
fucking Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah!
Oh crap! If I go behind Allura, I can't attack melee with them.
If you go here, because the door is
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
I think you should be able to.
Yeah, this is a sagging
Right.
stone
You
building.
guys can pop those four in. They're staggered.
No, I don't think so.
So like
one,
there?
Yeah, and then one.
Should have
in
known
front.
when there was
Yeah.
no windows.
Here?
And, yep.
Okay.
And then one, two squares over. There you go.
They
And one in the
seem
far corner.
Fire
There you
as
go.
well.
Perfect.
There's 4 of them in there?
Yep.
That's a good thing to stick with.
Stick to the Detroit rule of battle.
We've
Narrow
got that,
space,
though.
block
That's
back
exactly
up.
what we're doing.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So with that, Hope, top of the round, you make your way over in beside Allura. You see that there's one just on the other side of the door that just kind of like looks up with these very odd kind of almost firelight type eyes.
Okay. Let's draw my longsword two-handed.
Yep.
And try and hit this bitch.
There isn't really a waiting for you to do that because Allura is currently blocking the door and the creature's on the other side.
Damn it.
You don't have a way to attack that
So is the
properly.
door is the door opening towards me or away from me?
The door is opening away from you. It's
Okay.
into the room, and the creature has kind of like just on the exterior of where the door has swung in. You started to see the about half visage of the creature that's
Okay.
in that single square.
So wait, if they are kind of blocked from coming out as well, should we all try and like run out of the house again? Like,
Dip and run.
Light's not gonna do much for these guys, though, is it?
if they're creatures like
Well,
spawn, they can only come
If
out.
I can't
Yeah.
use my longsword, can I use my wand of snowballs again?
Sure, you would need to get behind Allura, but you could do that.
Okay.
So you just need to move around one square. There you go. And then you could be able to fire that at one
What
target.
is guy's called?
Which one do you want to
I don't
target?
know.
I want to target the one closest to Allura.
Closest to Allura? Okay, awesome. Go ahead and how many charges would you like to use?
Let's just go with one charge
One charge?
presently.
Alright, sounds good.
I don't want to
So,
use up all my charges.
first charge, this is a DC 15 dex save. That is not on there. Do. That is a 7, so that is a failure. Go ahead and roll damage on that one.
Piano.
Yeah.
So 3d6 cold damage.
5.
5. Alrighty. So 5 points of damage. As the snowballs just appear in the end of the wand and just and impact against the creature and kind of blow little dusts of cold against the creature. As it does that, you notice that the skin that was on it that looked very weathered and rotten actually kind of and actually covers the area in ash. I need both you two to make Constitution saving throws for me, please.
Fuck. Oh, well, that was terrible.
Allura? 6? Okay. Oh.
That is... I don't have Constitution, so that is free.
3. Okay, so both of you seeing this and just kind of seeing these creatures and looking at them as the impact happens, the ash kind of flies off the creatures and instinctively you just kind of go to catch your breath as a little bit of it enters into your lungs. You are considered poisoned. You have disadvantage on all attack rolls, all saving throws, and all ability checks for 1 minute.
So are we getting out of here, or are we fighting these guys?
So the
I
creature
think
does
we're gonna
take
be
the
like-
damage, and it just kind of explodes as puffs of ash begin to come off, and a hand that was attached gets kind of torn off to the side as more ash becomes filling the.
There
the
could
area
be something
slightly.
good in that room, or
Yeah.
we just bolt and
Let's
we
go.
got what we need.
Let's go.
I think-
Why don't we lure them out?
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
think
said.
that's exactly
Get
how
out
we
the,
do it.
the small
Yeah.
opening, range
Yeah.
attack. Best
So
tactic
hope
ever.
you've used 5 squares of movement to get there. You've got 1 more left if you'd like to start making your way outside.
I think we should head out. I think we should try and lure them out, so we can.
We've got 2 ranged here already. If the doctor can join us, then we got more range.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
gonna.
I was gonna head
So that's your
outside, try and tag him from
Alrighty,
outside.
so that's going to be your
Yeah.
turn.
Like,
Doctor, you hear
do that as
hear
well.
this from inside, and then a heavy coughing.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
these are ashy as hell.
I'm gonna pull my fancy new cloak up over my mouth,
All right.
and I'm gonna skedaddle.
Yep.
I'm gonna get right behind a leaf. There.
Yep.
In the corner.
Sounds good.
For my action, Can I prep an Eldritch Blast for when I see one of these guys?
You can.
Hold your action.
Hold action.
Perfect. Action being held. Elise, you're up next.
Okay, so can we just metagame for a second, Trev, and just decide on our tactic here? Are we gonna like try and leave and like get them out of the house, or are we just gonna get them out of the doorway so we can attack them more effectively?
I think we get them out of the house
I think
personally.
Yeah.
They won't come into the sunlight, so they might not.
They
they
might.
won't-
Well, that's a good
They
point.
might not.
That's a good point. They may not actually like.
Here's the thing:
follow us
we
out.
can either go outside, they won't come outside, or we can attack them from a distance here.
Yeah.
We'll kill them and go into that room and see what they
I
were.
definitely
in
want to get
for.
to that
We
room.
could
Although
light the
I'm
building
thinking
on
with
fire.
the ash as well, like
Building's made of stone.
We could try.
they're throwing out kind of ash that's
Yeah.
poisonous. So
Yeah, I think if we get outside with the wind.
But
possibly
my thing is
helping
that if
us.
we go outside, they won't come outside with us, so they'll still be inside. Then we don't get to see what's in the room. There's two ways we can do this. We can either just leave and run, don't bother searching this room, don't bother attacking them, or we can attack them from a distance, see how the fray goes, and if we're doing well, we can go in there, and if we don't do well, we can just leave because the doors are
That
there.
poison
They
is
won't
very
follow us
effective,
out.
though.
Yeah.
So we should at least attempt to see if we can beat them.
Okay.
And if we can't, we just bolt.
Yep. Okay, so
Very great.
from where I am, can I see that one that's in the doorway with Allura?
Where you
I'm
are
right
now? No.
here.
No, you can't. It's fully obscured by the doorway.
Where would I have to go to be able to see it?
You need to be standing where Hope is to be able to see it.
Okay.
maybe you should try doing like, even though it's stone, see if you can do some damage, get
Hold
some
your
light
action.
in here.
Yeah,
Or hold your
Wait till
action
you're
until
out
you
of
see
view,
it.
and then you'll hit them.
Jordy didn't look happy at that.
Oh no, sorry, I was yawning.
Okay.
I was up really early.
Do
this
whatever.
morning.
Do
Yeah,
whatever
that's
makes
fine.
him look like that.
Can I hold both my bonus first turn attack and my regular attack?
So you would hold the attack action. In this case, the attack action for you is the double attack.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
So,
So,
yeah.
I'm gonna hold.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and hold that. Alrighty, that's gonna be your turn. Next up are the zombies. So the one that's directly in front of Allura, he's gonna go ahead and make a swipe out at you. This is just gonna be I think it's just called a slam attack. Yeah, slam attack.
Psyduck.
So that is a 16 to hit.
Yep.
16 hits. Okay, so you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Well,
Oh no, owie.
Oh, this one is like an 80 points of.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want that.
And that's its turn.
Oh.
Oh.
Who's
Okay.
fucking with this shit?
Well, let's get to murdering, guys.
It's now going to, the rest of the other ones are going to come up beside, but they are unable to get to where you currently are.
So like there.
Yep, they're just essentially trying to get out of the room and like claw after you, but none of them are currently able to do that. So you're kind of standing in the doorway, essentially blocking them from leaving the room.
but if they can all attack you.
That is their turn. Allura, you're up.
Okay, I am going to. I can attack the one.
You can attack the one in front of you, and with ranged, you could attack the two in the back as well.
Okay. Question about my crossbow expert. Does the bonus attack with hand crossbow have to be against the same opponent that I have attacked with my crossbow?
Does it say it have to be?
I don't have the exact wording.
It doesn't say it has to be, therefore it doesn't.
Okay. Okay. I am going to attack the one directly in front of me with my frostblade.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Make your attack.
My name is Eluvararik.
You
I
stole
didn't-
me
I didn't-
from my country.
I didn't even finish it, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
My name is Eluvararik. You ashed on me.
9?
Prepare to die.
9 hits.
Hey!
Yes.
Whoa! Low DC.
Roll damage.
Roll that damage.
Roll that damage.
Roll it good.
Roll that damage.
Oh. That's
You
not
roll
what
damage
yeah.
with D20.
You wish. You fucking
D20
wish.
damage.
Later. That comes later.
No sneak attack.
So, I have to remember this.
What?
No sneak attack?
Didn't that surprise you?
Because I'm trying to remember if there's no other creature within 5 feet of it or you. So that's what I have to check. Because I know that you get it in a specific thing. Inquisitive.
What you roll?
You also gain an additional weight each sneak attack against a creature if you are within 5 feet of it. No other creatures are within 5 feet of you. So no, you do not get sneak attack.
Okay.
For a while.
What about
Okay, I got you.
with is that with swashbuckler?
Yeah.
That's what the swashbuckler.
Yeah, so
Okay,
the
so
swashbuckler
those-
thing is it's essentially if you are one-on-one against a creature and neither of you have anything around you, you also get sneak attack.
Okay.
So it's 1d8 plus.
This is 12. What are we doing?
We're tired. It's 10:30.
Yeah. Okay. I rolled an 8.
Nice.
Plus 3, right? No,
plus
plus 4.
4, yeah. So 12?
So 12.
Okay. All right. So the creature takes a heavy blow, and again, the blossoming of the ice crystals across the center of its chest, creating a nice little target for you. But that attack hits. The creature is still standing.
Cool. I'm going to use my crossbow and yes,
And shoot it.
and shoot it.
Okay, go for it.
It's a 16 plus 6.
A 9 hits.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Armor class is
and
8, so I'm pretty sure you guys all hit except on a natural 1.
Oh my god.
Let's get some murder.
I rolled a 6. I rolled top hits on both of those.
Yeah, so it's 14
Damn.
plus 7. Yeah, you 21 points of damage total on your turn. Nicely done. Okay, so 6 plus 3, so 9 total.
What?
9 points of total damage for that hit. It's 6 for the roll plus your dex.
Oh yes, yes,
So 9?
you're right.
Okay. So creature has to make. Okay, so the bolt impacts against the center of the chest, and you begin to see the creature just and like grab onto the walls, essentially steadying itself as best it possibly can. As you see it begin to fall and eventually collapse onto the ground, and then kind of and stand itself back up. Apparently not killed by the bolt that should have killed it.
Alright. Some undead
So,
shit.
that is your turn, unless you'd like to move.
Going to move.
I don't know.
Okay.
So Leith's got the undead knowledge.
We got some of that undead shit.
So, at least having seen that thing didn't die when it was supposed to, like from my vantage point,
Yep.
can I tell what maybe would have killed it or what should kill it?
Not immediately. It would take you an action on your turn to try and make a check to see what that might be. Alright, so that's going to be your turn?
Yeah.
Alrighty. After you, you've got Leaf.
Okay, cool.
Wanna do?
So 2 things. I'm gonna bless, for my action, I'm gonna bless Hope, Les, and Allura.
Okay.
So that's all.
So
That's it.
D4s to attack rolls and
Yeah.
saving throw. Oh! Your attacks were made at disadvantage.
Yeah, but it's already past my turn,
It is.
Jordy. But I realized it the exact same
Why?
time that you did.
I realized it
poison.
before and decided not to mention
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
That's not lawful.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
now
oh,
we're talking
man.
Put
alignment.
my mask over
I'm
Welcome.
lawful
my leg.
neutral.
For that, I'll say that you don't get to make the saving throw at the end of your turn to try and resist the effect.
Oh.
Oh, you forgot, DM.
I also forgot to make you make the saving throw at the end of your turn, so too bad.
Just don't say anything. It's better.
So-
So I'm gonna bless them.
Okay, so you are blessed.
Keep making this worse, guys.
As a free action, can I kind of like pull up? I don't know, something to kind of.
You got a cloak.
cover against. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. And for my bonus action, I'd like to raise my spiritual weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spiritual.
Ooh, what
Oh
like?
no, you can't. It's 2 spells on the same turn. Bless is
This
not
one's
a
a bonus
cantrip.
action.
Bless is not a cantrip.
It's it's 1 action. Sorry, what was the?
So
first
you
action?
can only cast 1 leveled
You did
spell
bless
with a
first.
bonus action or with a
Oh
cantrip.
shit.
So yeah, so you could either do
Oh
spiritual
damn it!
weapon
Sorry.
or
I
that.
Warcaster. Okay,
Yeah.
ignore that.
No warcaster is you can do it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, in that case, I won't do that, and I will just ready. Oh yeah, no, shit, I won't do anything.
Yeah.
Just keep chilling.
No bonus action? Alright.
Alright, so you
Done
still
deal.
let
We got
bless
D4s?
happen?
So
Yeah.
bless has happened. So you guys have D4s to attack roll saving throws.
You
Yeah. Thank you.
three.
Okay.
Sorry, gang.
All right.
That's fine, we got it.
Poison, so that's
Less.
for the best.
Bottom of the round again.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
All right.
Don't lose a fucking die.
What the white one? No,
The
I
one
don't.
that was bad.
Well, they're both not that good.
Do you wanna borrow one of mine or
Can I have one that's not been used?
None of these have been used.
Pink.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to move this direction. Yeah.
Are you going to?
I'm asking you if I can.
Why would you not be able to?
That's up to you. So I'm gonna move over there. And, like, how's my field of view?
You have
It's
0
still
field of
inside.
view.
Yeah.
Gonna go there, and I'm going to hold my action.
Okay, what action are you holding?
I'm holding an action to release my hand axes when it comes into my field of view.
Gotcha.
I'm so sure you're going to say
Alrighty.
fog cloud again.
That's the backup, guys. Fog cloud's the backup.
Fog cloud here would work to get out.
Exactly, but not
And-
there.
And the fog particles would dissipate the ash particles and make them fall to the ground and not be airborne.
Even I think that's bullshit.
No, it's not.
Isn't that? Is that a thing?
Well, it's like
That's a
well, it's
DM
like when you
decision.
use a
Yeah, when there's
humidifier.
water,
Oh,
it
so-
Oh,
will.
yeah. You know what? Never mind.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Science.
Science.
He's like,
bitch.
fucking try it.
Bitch.
I dare you.
Top of the round, Hope.
But don't do that. It's
Okay.
not the fog.
So
I will have to make a.
at the end of your turn,
Oh,
you'll
at the
make
end.
a save to try and resist the effect.
Okay. I'm going to.
What? Oh, okay. But,
Let's move. Hang on. So if I move next to the door, they will get a chance to attack me again, won't they? If I move again.
If you move in and out, that's your understanding of the way that mechanic works. Yes.
This guy's still up though, right?
He fell down and then
He
immediately
died.
stood back up.
And then was like, yeah, no, not today.
That's fair.
Today, bitch.
I'm back.
I don't know what that
I might
So I think it's
be that bitch and do hold action of my longsword two-handed.
Longsword two-handed. All right. Where you are, or do you want to move in?
I.
Sorry.
That's a win-win situation.
Yeah, I want. I'm now like really aware of your light.
No, I was gonna wait till you rolled. I was gonna slow-mo thing.
Oh no, I'm not rolling. I'm
Oh,
holding.
okay, sorry.
Hold on.
I'm going to move next to Les.
Okay. Alrighty. Creating the blockade.
a little formation.
Alrighty. That's going to be your turn, Doctor.
Protect our friends.
So if I do an action now, does my held action hold over?
So your held action, the way that a held action works is that you hold your action. At any point until the start of your next turn, you can use your reaction to then release that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So in this case, because you held an Eldritch Blast, it's not a spell-leveled slot.
Yeah.
The spell just dissipates, and
Okay.
you no longer have it.
Cool. I am going to then take my action to use the Rod of the Pact Keeper to
Okay.
relearn Scorching Ray
Okay.
on my turn.
Good to know. So
I feel
regain
like-
one spell slot.
Yeah.
I think
Nice.
you deliberately forgot again.
I undeliberately forgot again. Please roll. Yeah. So I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, and what is that a D20?
Yeah, D20. Add your Constitution saving
And
throw.
add a
modifier.
D4.
And add a D4 because it's a saving throw.
Cool, and this is not advantage or
No, it is not.
Okay, you ready?
Hold on.
Actually, which dice should I use? Should I use a real pretty one? Let's use this one. Oh, no,
Fuck!
no.
Shit!
Yeah, that's a 7.
All right. A 7 with the D4
Yeah.
and your modifier for Constitution saving
I
throw.
have a 0 for my modifier for Constitution.
Wait, you gotta.
Oh,
You gotta
Oh, you're
plus
not
two.
keeping
oh,
that
I
modifier?
don't. Oh, I've definitely been doing that wrong then. I have a 9.
Okay, and it's still not enough. So you are still affected by the ash. Alrighty. At the end of your turn, we come to the
Is there
doctor.
slow-mo?
You've done your turn already.
Yep.
Finger.
Leaf.
So did my double action dissipate as well then?
Correct. Yeah. So
Damn
you
it.
were holding your shots. Nothing came into view, and you just instinctively unknocked your arrows.
Okay. Okay, for my first action, I'm just gonna use this turn to do that thing where I figure out everything I can about the undead from my
This
Sure.
specific
Knowledge.
undead?
yes.
Yeah, like why they wouldn't die.
Why they wouldn't die, if they have any weaknesses, why their eyes are burning, if they have some kind of like fire attunement.
Okay. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Yeah,
This will be at advantage because they're your favorite enemy.
that's right. So I was just gonna put that up. 12.
12. Best you can tell, you don't know anything about the red eyes. The ash doesn't make any sense. The creatures themselves are zombies. The way that zombies work is that they can receive fatal damage. When they do that, they make a they essentially have a chance to have that just not kill them. Whatever unearthly force is driving them maintains their form,
Right.
even though
I wonder
they
if
would
they're
have
fire-based
received
because we're in a
lethal
smithy.
damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would silver or magical weapons be more effective against them?
Radiant damage would be more effective against them.
Okay, but silver would make a difference.
Correct.
Okay.
There is still a
Radiant,
chance for them to fall on standard damage.
Right.
It's just they sometimes
They can
are able to
come back.
shrug off the effect.
Right.
Yeah.
But do they remain injured? They just don't die?
They just don't die. They drop to 1 hit point.
Okay.
Oh, so then they. Okay.
So this was a funny situation I'll tell you guys about after, but yeah, so that's essentially what
Okay.
you know.
So that's my turn, though I can't use an attack roll because I
Correct.
did that. Okay,
Exactly.
that's fine.
Alrighty, next up are the 2 zombies. 4 zombies, I should say. So first one is going to step outside. When that happens, we're going to go in order of who held stuff. So Allura, you used your stuff. Leaf, you
I was just
didn't
blessing,
hold
but I
anything yet.
did bless them.
Yeah, you blessed them. So Les, you get your hand axe throw. Go ahead and throw that.
Bless the heck
Pew
out of
pew.
them.
Pink die plus 1d4.
I mean, coral die.
Coral.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Coral.
We are fighting.
I have
zombos.
not watched that show in
That's-
so
I haven't watched that
long.
show since before Coral was a
Dude,
thing.
what a fall from grace, though. I kind of want
I
to see the
know,
season
it
finale.
kind of
I
went-
would like to watch
Isn't there
that.
a show now that's just Fear the Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that came out a few years ago.
Ooh,
Once Frank Darabont did, I was like,
19.
19. 19 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
it does not
That's
make
a
it.
5
hit
hit
or
then.
6 plus 5.
You want to be like.
Is that called?
No.
3 plus 5.
8.
Plus 5.
For the attack and damage? No, plus damage.
The damage.
Plus strength? No?
I think it should
Isn't it
just
d6 plus strength?
Yeah, plus your strength, which is 3.
3. And then I get plus 2 for dueling.
Oh yeah,
You're
if you got your
You're
I
not.
don't think you get that for ranged attacks.
Oh,
I think
really?
that's when you're using a melee weapon.
Okay.
I'm
Oh.
just gonna double check though, because
Does
I could
that
be wrong.
is that including the D4 or does D4
That's not
not work
for
for
damage.
That's for the
damage?
that's
That's just
to
for
attack.
attack.
Ah, okay.
Not for the damage. I assume dueling did 1 plus 2 for attacks.
Melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons. Nope. So you are using a
It's
thrown
considered
weapon.
a ranged strike.
Correct.
Okay,
So
so,
you-
that's
so you
plus
add
3, so it's a 6.
So 6 points of damage?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Hey, with that, the creature does... Yeah, it does not succeed. That is an 8 needed to beat an 11. So yeah, so with that, the hand axe, you kind of wheel back and whip it, and it embeds itself right in the center of the chest as it kind of passes through the chest, and the body just splits, and the neck just kind of separates slightly, and the creature does fall to the ground in 2 pieces. So the first one does fall.
Sniper axes.
The next one will be the one right beside the door.
This guy?
He's going to take a step through. 1, 2. When this happens, Allura, or sorry, Elif, you can release your held action.
Oh no.
I
Oh,
thought
I
it
can now.
dissipated.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. You didn't.
Yeah, no, ours are
sorry,
gone.
you're right. No one actually has any
Do I
held
get-
action.
I have a held action.
But yours wasn't ranged. Yours was longsword attack.
Yeah, was Allura's not a held action as well?
No, I
No,
didn't
you
hold
used
an
both of your
action.
attacks.
How long was this
And
long?
was the doctor not?
He relearned a spell slot and then died.
Oh,
So
no.
the creature's going to go ahead and step out. So this one's going to make steps towards the closest creature. 1, 2. You'll now get your attack of there. So you can go ahead and do that.
Cool.
Make sure you add a D4.
Thank you for the reminder.
So you're rolling at disadvantage.
Roll another one. Oh, that's not. That's really not that bad. 16.
Yeah, that hits. Go and roll damage.
Okay, so I'm doing my longsword 1d10, and now can I add Divine Smite?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Pew.
Pew pew.
Exploded.
Pew. Pow. Pow pow.
Who's that?
So
Explode.
dumping a spell slot in, so it takes an extra 1d8 because it's an undead creature. So you're going to deal 1d10 for the sword, plus 3d8 radiant damage.
Yeah.
Big flex.
Flex it out. Flex it out.
It's literally what paladins were made for. Beating zombies.
What? Yeah.
The zombie.
So many dice.
It's not bad.
That's a max damage of 34.
And how much was that?
That's 11.
11 plus your strength. That's including
That's 40.
14 in total. Okay. So 14 points of damage. Good to know.
Oh, awesome.
All right, so that is your held action. The creature is now going to go ahead and make a slam attack against you, but before it does so, Les, I need you and the two people behind. I can't see who those people are. You two?
Alif, Allura, Hope, Les.
Okay.
So like
Les and Alif, I need you both to make Constitution saving throws, please.
I don't have the D4 anymore.
You do. You still have the
I do.
D4.
Okay.
His saving throw.
you saving
He's
throw.
saving throw.
Save throw.
8.
8?
You
Okay.
throw a save.
8 as well.
8 as well.
Yeah.
That includes your Constitution saving throw modifier. Check it.
Plus 4. So 8 plus 4.
So 12. So 12 succeeds.
Yeah.
8 does not. So you have the same disadvantage. So you disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. Okay. Awesome. All right.
For
so
a
that
minute, though.
for a minute, and you get to remake the check at the end of each of your turns.
Wait, had it not been a minute then by the time I made
6
that?
10
seconds.
rounds
round.
of combat.
Each
Uh,
turn, each person's
IRL
turn
it's
is
in
6
there.
seconds. So 6 seconds, each of us for a round. Yeah, 10 rounds.
exactly. That's why when something hits you for a minute, you're like, "That's not that bad," and then you're in combat with a dragon for a minute and go, "We're all dead." So, anyways,
Didn't, like,
next
the
up,
tree
the
last,
other two
like,
zombies are going to come
28
out.
seconds?
They're going to
Yeah.
shuffle into the hallway. One of them is going to slide up next to Leaf, or sorry, next to Les, I should say. And the other one is just going to come in behind, trying to make grab attacks, but unable to do so. So this is going to be one attack against Les and one attack against Hope.
Glad
Les,
the two of you are standing in front.
Les, that is a 19 to hit you.
Wow.
Hits.
And Hope, that is also a 19 to hit you.
Oh,
It hits?
No.
Double wow.
So you
No.
take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, 4 points of bludgeoning damage,
Yeah,
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah. that's fine.
and that's their turn. They're zombies. They're just hard to kill.
It just did go.
So that's going to be their turn. Allura, you're up. So from where you are, you have no way to get into melee with them. At best, you can fire 2 crossbow shots.
Okay, I will shoot.
This is the one downside with small
I can't,
hallways.
I can't shoot 2 cross.
You can. That's the whole thing. Is you use the action to shoot your crossbow shot, and your offhand can be another crossbow shot.
Yeah, right. I keep thinking it has to be a melee, but
Yeah,
that's
it
the
doesn't.
second time I thought that. Okay.
It's designed for you people to run double hand crossbows. You can use
Right.
the same one twice.
Okay.
John Ruick.
I will shoot one at each of them.
Okay,
So I'll do the first one at disadvantage first.
sure. So first one, do you want to attack the one that hit? Well, which one do you want to attack? The one that Hope hit, or the one that no one has hit yet?
I'll hit the one that Hope hit.
Okay. So add a D4 at disadvantage.
Do I have? Okay. I got a 19 and a 2.
Okay. That's the D4.
Does the D4 go to disadvantage too? Do you roll
No,
that
it's-
twice?
So the
the
D4
D20?
just goes to the attack.
Right. Okay. So 5.
Plus your mods.
Oh, right. Oh my God.
Hey.
I can leave it.
Ew.
So
We
11
got excited.
11 hits.
hits.
Yeah.
Rolling a 2.
Yeah.
I hit.
I know.
Wow.
Oh man. Okay. So that's
They're not hard to hit. They're zombies.
So
It just seems such a
They're literally bullet sponges
such
that
a
just
cro-
don't die.
Such a contrast.
and somebody's in melee.
Correct. So you
with
do
it,
get
so-
sneak attack. So yeah, you'll need to roll damage on this one. So it's 3d6 plus 3.
1d6.
1d6 for the crossbow plus sneak attack.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was.
So
roll
3d6
D8.
plus 3.
12.
Okay. All right. So the creature has the impact of the crossbow against the center of the chest. It spins around slightly and just kind of throws its arms out, about to fall, and then just kind of and retains itself at 1 hit point.
I'm going to fire the crossbow at the same
Go for it.
one.
Yep. Make your second attack
I got a D4.
Oh yeah.
at disadvantage.
So.
Can't get lower than 2. Except for 1.
2 hit before.
11.
Hits.
Hey.
Ooh, so it's the same thing.
Same thing.
6.
But you don't get the sneak attack on this one because you only get one.
So just 1
So D6 plus 3.
plus 3. So no, 8.
8. Okay. Second bolt impacts against the other side, spins around as the creature throws its arms out and kind of steadies itself. Apparently not falling.
Can it not die?
Fucking thing.
There are ways for
Also,
them to
mine
not
had
die.
because mine had radiant damage as well. Did that not?
It didn't drop the creature, therefore it
Okay.
took the damage, but it did not kill it. So that's going to be Allura's turn. Leaf, you're up.
Okay, yeah, so now I will cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
My moss ball floats,
Yeah.
floats out of the ether.
Floats out of the ether.
Hey, buddy. Got a little work for you to do.
And gonna fling that thing.
Fling it.
We got I don't know if we've got a little mark or
know,
something, but I'll
It's your moss
swing
ball.
it after the one that's
I don't think it'll
pressing
work
up on
with
Hope.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Okay, go for it.
S-
Make your attack.
let's see. 11.
11 hits.
Yep.
Roll damage. I love that, like, I think actually every attack from all of you hits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except on a natural one.
So that's 12.
Okay.
Or it is 12 damage. And then for my bonus action,
Doesn't fall. The moss ball slams into it as it just kind of. It's just still staying strong at 1 hit point.
so I'm gonna repeat attack it for my bonus action with that.
It's a bonus action to summon the spiritual weapon and attack.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So
sorry.
your action, you could use a cantrip to what's it called? Flame.
Yeah, actually, yeah, no, I will. Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame, that's what it is. So Sacred Flame dealing radiant damage.
Yeah.
Instantly drops the creature.
Oh, ooh, okay.
It had 1 hit point.
Which one
as
is
long
that?
as it fails its dex save, which it does, with a -1.
Strategy.
And the creature just drops, incinerating from the inside
I already
out
tried to
as the ash comes
add
out.
it in before, but I didn't. drop
Les,
it,
I do
so.
need you to make another Constitution saving throw for
So
me.
yeah, we
With 4?
whittled them
Yeah.
down.
Oh, and
you guys deal the damage.
con save at disadvantage to try and resist the effect.
I only have.
Which one is that?
The one in front of Hope, away from you. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Drops.
I only have 1 more spell slot, so I'd rather not use it.
21.
Okay, nope. 21, you're still fine. You're still poisoned. Alright, so that's going to be that. Second one drops. And we get 2 remaining. Less.
Alright. Are the 2 zombies, like, pretty much at full health?
These ones are at full health. They have taken no damage yet.
Would we like to run and fuck, like, do we want to search the room, right? is
Let's
what
fuck
we
'em
wanna
up.
do. Let's fuck them up,
We're here.
alright. I'm gonna use my trip attack
We came all this way.
on
It's only been 18
the
minutes.
zombie closest to me.
Go for it.
Come on, coral dice.
You
Plus
got
the D4.
your D4.
It hits. Like,
9 plus 3.
Hits.
Yeah.
basically, like. it's
So
like
we're gonna roll
a
damage.
1.
So we got a,
So it's D6
yes.
plus the D8 superiority die. Yep. And then it makes a strength saving throw against your DC, which I don't actually know what it is.
Your DC? Or the
Oh, yeah.
zombie DC?
No, against my DC for the
For
maneuver.
the trip attack, yeah, for maneuver.
I think it's, I want to say plus 10.
No.
I'm gonna nip to the lead.
8 plus proficiency plus strength mod. So
Strength
10,
is 3.
Yeah, so 10 plus your strength, so 13.
Yeah.
Okay, so it makes a strength saving throw, which it succeeds. 17.
It's all muscle, dude.
I just want to see for trip attack. Yep, so you add it to the damage roll. So what was the damage roll on that?
For 5.
So that's a D8 plus a D6 plus.
5 on the roll, not plus anything.
He
So-
rolled a d10, not a d8.
Okay, so.
Oh, what? Oh, shit. Sorry. I thought that was the same one.
No, that's a d10. This is a d8.
There we go.
So what's the D6 damage?
Even worse. 3.
So 3 plus the stuff for your trident. So that's your strength plus 1 plus 2.
So 3 was the roll plus 6.
Correct. So 9. 9
Yes.
points of damage. Okay. Good to know. And that's the one right in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. 13.
It dies and gives you a trophy.
That's going to be your turn.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Alright.
Top of the round, Hope is in the bathroom. You know what I'm going to say for the sake of brevity? They're just annoying, right? Like, that's the whole thing about them. I'll say, I'm just going to do this just to make life easier.
You're gonna yakety sax this shit.
Les, what's your AC?
17.
A few minutes later.
Alright. Les, you take 7 more points of bludgeoning damage.
Alright.
And
This is how we have
Hope
hallway.
will take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. And that'll be the fight. Because otherwise, it's just going to take forever. These guys, the whole thing with them is that every time you deal non-radiant damage to them, they make a con save of 5 plus the amount of damage they took. If they succeed, they don't die. So they just keep going and going and going. So every time I roll like a 10, it's like, oh, hey, cool. Yep, they're alive. Oh, 10. Yep, they're alive. Yep, 7,
Oh,
they're
did one
alive.
die?
They're all dead.
Oh, are they all dead?
They're dead.
Yakety sax it.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be it. Given that it's 11 o'clock, we're gonna wrap up.
Yeah.
Bye.
So, thank you so much, everybody, for bearing with us for this one. It was a good start to an interesting fight, a good return to combat. Something we haven't really done in a long time.
That's why I was like, I don't remember how to do that.
Honestly,
It's like, you want to fight?
welcome
You'll
to
get all the fights.
welcome to a roleplay campaign,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys fought 3 full episodes ago. It was episode 9 when you
Jesus
actually
Christ.
fought them. And that was when you fought against the vampire spawn.
Freeze
That you
zone.
fought for like
Shit.
2 rounds and then went, fuck this, and attacked the wall.
Best
Yeah, we
moment
did.
ever.
That
Still
was
my favorite
great.
moment of the whole campaign so far.
Yes.
It's
I'm so
freaking
glad
out.
that someone figured that out. So, anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. We so appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've been doing. We want to thank again Math One, ADA Loveface, and Tricky Genosis for the people who followed us over the last week before we streamed again. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.